Welcome to the Fantasy Football Garage. I'm Chris. My friends call me the Candyman, and you already know what time it is. Tonight, we're drafting Battle Royale best ball teams on Underdog, maybe slipping in a few fast drafts as well. And we're going to be looking ahead to week 2 matchups. I've got my main man, Sharpman, my dog, aka Hartman Fantasy Football, coming on soon. He's stuck in traffic, but he'll be here shortly. And we're going to draft some Battle Royale teams, maybe do a dog bowl or two. We'll see what we can get into. We're going to talk about our sit-start decisions across our leagues, whether it's our managed dynasty leagues, our home leagues that are redraft, or our FFPC Big Gorilla high stakes $350 buy-in draft that Hartman and I did together. We just put in our waivers, and I think they just processed. I haven't even spoiled it yet. I haven't looked ahead to see if we got Harold Fannin, our top waiver wire ad, going into week 2 in our FFPC managed league. But all of that and more tonight. We're going to be talking week 2, answering your sit and start questions as well. So come get in the chat, say what up, let me know what are your top sit and start decisions going into week 2. Which matchups are you looking forward to? Are you avoiding the Packers defense and the Commanders? I mean, Bindles and I were saying it last night on his channel. How are you going to bench your Commanders players? But it's a Thursday night matchup. It's a short week. They're playing this stout Packers D that just held the Detroit Lions of all teams to 13 points in week 1. The same Lions that led the league in scoring in 2024. What's going on? Do they really need Ben Johnson that badly? Wow. So we'll get into it. But first, if you're new to the channel, if you're watching this later, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the like button. And we're going to have some fun here tonight. We're going to talk ball, talk week 2 matchups. So come on in, say what up in the chat. Let me kick it to the intro. Let me start diving into maybe this early schedule. Maybe we rip a primetime Palooza before Hartman gets here. And I'll catch up with y'all in a second. Let's hit it. But overall, it's like the guy can ball. Like actions speak louder than words. Heyo, how we doing? Happy Wednesday night. Going into week 2 of the NFL season. Bindles and I had a great show last night on his channel. For the in-season content, we're doing our ballsy breakdowns of our weekly show. We're moving it from Monday nights to Tuesday nights so that we can watch Monday Night Football, come in fresh off that every Tuesday. So that was on Bindle's channel last night. Links in the description. Make sure you're subscribed there. Make sure you check out that video. Leave a like, leave a comment. We went for 2 hours. We just talked ball the whole time, sit-start decisions, recapping week 1, talking about waivers for week 2, all that good stuff, week 2 matchups. And it was a fun time. So next week, next Tuesday night, around 10 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be doing it here on my channel. And it's going to be the new thing going forward for our in-season content. But what do we got here? We've got some underdog drafts that, hey, potentially we can get into tonight. I think the primetime Palooza is a pretty fun one, an interesting one to enter. I know the Badge Bros have been talking up a lot of these different tournaments. They seem to like the primetime Palooza. And it's going to be the format for this one. It's going to be the Thursday night and the Sunday night setup. Hey, there's Hartman. Speaking of, he'll be joining shortly. What's up, brother? The Thursday night game. So there's about 12.5K up top. 14,000 give or take entrance. So it's a decent size. Draft size is 4 people, right? There's 2 games, there's 4 teams, 4 shots to get a QB. We've got and it's 6 rounds. So we've got the Washington at Green Bay. We've got Atlanta at Minnesota. Some really fun matchups in terms of like the fantasy pieces. Yo, what up, Crossface? How we doing, brother? Crossface, you jumping in these BR streets? What are you drafting, my friend? How we doing? How did your eliminator drafts kick off so far? Well, I've been thinking about these matchups a lot. Washington at Green Bay. They're really stout Green Bay defense. Could this be a low scoring Thursday night game? Do we slight fade this game and then lean into Atlanta at Minnesota? And then I'm curious to see in a 4-person draft room, one QB, 2 receivers, a tight end, a running back, and a flex. I think of the onesie positions first. So let me scroll back up to the games. In fact, let's look at the games here. Ooh, bright mode. Ouch. In this kind of context, quickly, it's at Green Bay. It's a Thursday night game. The line is over under 48.5. I'd probably take the under, considering what we saw from both these teams in week 1. Green Bay minus 3.5. Green Bay in week 1, they put up 27 points. We had Washington against Detroit, also at home. We had Washington Commanders put up 21 points at home against the Giants. Yo, what's up, Anthony? Yeah, we're lighting it up here. One sec. Ayo, classic 3-year-old waking up requesting lemonade. Dad duty. You know how it goes. Yeah, Anthony was saying, yeah, it's so bright. The future's that's why I'm wearing the sunglasses, by the way. It's the light mode striking again. Yeah, I know, 100%. Crossface actually didn't do any elims, but in the BR streets, hell yeah. Drop the BR tips, the knowledge, the plus EV strats in the chat. If you're doing some like primetime paloozas, dog bowls, what are you getting into? 12-man, 6-man, 4-man drafts. It's all new to me. I've done BRs in golf. I've actually never entered the BR streets in football on Underdog. So I'm excited to get into it this season. Been waiting, been ready. And yeah, Hartman's joining soon. So where we left off, I was just talking about, the matchups in week 1. So looking at these matchups with Green Bay, with Washington, I'm taking the under there. Okay, but I think of the onesie positions first. So Jaden Daniels, obviously the best quarterback among this group of 4, right? But he's going up against the best defense. We've also got, Ertz is fine, good. Kraft is probably better. Pitts is looking pretty good. Hawkinson's probably the best. So it's probably pretty close. You really can't go wrong with those tight ends. So it feels like a punt tight end, punt QB type of week. It's either Jaden Daniels or bust, because between Love, Penix Jr., and McCarthy, I think, maybe McCarthy has a slightly higher rushing floor, but uncertain at this point compared to just like Penix. And then this is a tougher matchup on Thursday night. The Sunday night game might be higher scoring. The over-under for the Sunday night game, it's 44.5, Minnesota minus 4.5. So actually big in favor of, that game projecting to be the lower scoring game, although I don't think it's going to go that way. I think that'll be the higher scoring game in this matchup naturally. We know Atlanta's banged up. Does Drake London play? Does Darnell Mooney play? I have not heard good things about Mooney or London, so I'm going to be slight avoiding those guys. Yeah, to push QB and RB in these, I was kind of thinking, so I have to think through like all of the players in this matchup, right? My first take is either all in on Jaden Daniels or fade QB and get the fourth. Whoever's the last QB available, just grab that QB. My next thing is the tight ends. They're not that different, so probably just take whatever tight end either stacks or is your last tight end. With Atlanta, it's Bajan or nothing, right? Because we're worried about the other skill position players. So for the Atlanta piece, I'm thinking Penix Jr., Kyle Pitts, and then Bajan being like the best piece of that. The Bears didn't run exceedingly well against Minnesota in Monday Night Football. So, yeah, what's up, Paulino? How we doing, brother? First week going good. Everything's full systems go. Having fun. How'd your week one go, brother? What's up, Billy, GM? Hope you're doing good. Happy Wednesday, everyone. I have Fannin in 3 out of 3 redraft leagues. Bro, you're winning. And spent 0 on waivers to get him in all. That's sick. I'm jealous. I just picked up Fannin in my home league. I've got Kelsey. I put in a bid. I was talking about this last night on the stream with Bindles. I put in a bid for $15 out of 100. I got Fannin. And then I also got Juwan Johnson for 15 out of 100. I missed out on Quentin Johnston. And then I kind of had layered my fab bids so that like I was going to drop 2 players and pick up 2 players. But I lost out on QJ. And so I ended up getting 2 tight ends. But it's fine. I've got Kelsey. I've got a decent depth of bench, that I can hold 3 tight ends for now. A little bit worried about Kelsey's utilization. But obviously his... he is who he is. So I'm going to keep starting Kelsey, but now I've got like Fannin and Juwan Johnson. And so I'm potentially going to be trying to move one of these tight ends to, if I can get another like wide receiver 3 or kind of flex play, maybe an upside running back. And then I have to figure out, I've got Dylan Sampson on my bench, but I have Ken Walker as my flex, my RB3 after Bucky and Gibbs. So it's like, and we'll talk about this more tonight, but in my home league, half point PPR, 10 team, do I bench Ken Walker for Dylan Sampson? I don't think I go that far yet, but it's starting to, we'll have to look into it a little bit. All right, so back to this matchup for the primetime Palooza. We talked about the Atlanta pieces. Ray McLeod probably don't need to go that deep in these small drafts, right? Unless you're doing like a 6 stack with Penix and you have no way out. Yo, what's up, Putt Daddy? Just been checking the Elims, home leagues, and DFS streets right now. Hell yeah, brother. How are the Elims doing? My elimination advance rate was pretty terrible. I only drafted 30, and I got 11 through. I chalk it up to just, small sample size or being too week 17 brained and not drafting enough Derrick Henry and Javonte Williams type of players. But yeah, not the best. A lot of my QBs did bad too, but I got 11 moving forward. So still fun, still in it for a bit. You think K9, Ken Walker, KW3 will have a better week next week, but we'll discuss. Yeah, hell yeah. We're going to be discussing that for sure. Bro, you're good, Hartman. We're good. He'll be here soon. 40 out of 77. Nice. That's sick. I mean, that's right about 50%, but hey, you're above the line. I was below. I expected to have 15. I've got 11. So, small sample size stuff is what it is. A lot of my teams that got through were Josh Allen teams. A lot of my teams that didn't get through, I drafted with guests. So I'm going to blame them for those teams not advancing. Not going to throw any names out there. Danny from Fantasy Stock Exchange. Our eliminator team is dead in week 1. Damn. But it was fun while it lasted. Okay. The Minnesota piece, I think there's a lot of talent in that matchup you could be drafting, right? Okay, McCarthy, obviously not a bad option, but let's talk about the skill position players. Talk about Hawkinson being probably the best tight end in this group. Maybe Kraft is, maybe Pitts is. So it's kind of a toss up there, but Minnesota, what do they offer? Aaron Jones, who he got some, he got the touchdown. He had a big reception, but they're not really using him as much in the run game. And Jordan Mason looked really good. So Jordan Mason, definitely a priority target in this kind of draft, in this small environment. He could have like a big game. He could break the slate here. So I'm thinking about that. Justin Jefferson, obviously, but temper expectations. JJ McCarthy's offense maybe has a slow start in a few of these quarters. We saw a lot of magic happen in the fourth quarter. We saw the touchdown in the fourth quarter Monday night from JJ McCarthy to Justin Jefferson, but the passing volume on this offense is down as a whole. They're going to run the ball a bit more, leaning towards, playing it through the run game from Minnesota and not the pass game. But you've got options like Justin Jefferson, Thielen, and then if we're going deep, kind of that analogous pick to what would be Ray McLeod is like a Jalen Naylor with Jordan Addison still out. That's about as deep as it goes. I think that's as far as you want to take it. So my priority targets are Bijan and Jordan Mason, but at the same time, you can't ignore Justin Jefferson. Going back to the other game, which I think is going to potentially be the lower scoring game, even though the Vegas odds right now don't say that. People are hyped up on Washington and Green Bay because they're both aspiring, playoff teams, contenders in the NFC division, but it's a Thursday night game. The defense on Green Bay is pretty good. I don't think Washington's defense is necessarily bad either. Here we go, light mode. When Washington played New York put up 6 points. Is that because New York sucks, or were the Giants just up against a good Commanders defense? To be determined. For the Green Bay side, it's like Josh Jacobs could easily break the slate. He continues his touchdown streak. I think it's going back like 8 or 9 games now into last season. And then you can play it to the receivers, but I mean, the targets, first off, not a whole lot to go around. And then they're pretty fragmented, not really consolidated. So I think about playing it through Kraft, through Golden for his first breakout game in prime time. We could have Reed, although some concern, the low volume, the low snaps, Dobbs, Wicks. There's too many other routes to go, right? So it's mostly through Jacobs there. For Washington, they got a ton of skill position players. You got to play it through Bill, Krosky, Merritt. Speaking of Bill, we haven't run the clip in a while. Let's hit the Bill, Krosky, Merritt clip. And that's exactly what he looked like when he scored a touchdown on Sunday in week 1. It was kind of an outside run to the right, and he just cuts around the corner and he's gone. So you could play it through Bill, but this defense, again, for the Packers looks pretty legit. You could play it through Debo, who looked great, a lot of usage in week 1. Terry McLaurin bounce back game. We talked about Zach Ertz being fine. Eckler could be kind of a surprise pick. So I think Eckler to me is the most interesting, like, split backfield, play in this one. And I guess you could say the same thing for Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason. But I think of like the Bill / Eckler piece being an exciting, kind of interesting way to play that. You just have to hope that it is a higher scoring game in that environment against Green Bay. I just don't see it. I don't even know I don't think Green Bay even did they give up a rushing touchdown? I don't think so. For Atlanta, I don't think you want to play it through Tyler Algier, even though he gets some work. That would be like a thin bet. So that's pretty much all the players I can think of. I haven't drafted one of these yet. I'm excited to get into it. I think we've kind of covered our bases. Depending on what pick you have in the draft, kind of determines somewhat of your future going forward and what you can get access to. But my raw rankings in this, as I'm just thinking out loud, right? I think we could pretty much like figure out like what we'd want. Yeah, people are loving Samson. People are loving Bill. Samson and Bill, two rookies that smashed in week 1, to name a few. Yo, it's Chris B. My man, CB Jets fan. How we doing, brother? Your Jets, they looked pretty good in week 1. I was so surprised to see the outcome of that game. I was watching it on Red Zone. The Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, the 4 passing touchdowns. I mean, damn, what a game, though. And then the Jets go up against the Bills in week 2, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be an exciting matchup, too. Appreciate you, brother. Always appreciate the kind words. Hope you're doing great on this Wednesday night. We're talking primetime matchups, the Thursday night game and the Sunday night game in this primetime Palooza slate for this Battle Royale that we're about to draft. Yes. Yeah, it was only the Tesla touchdown, which was a sick touchdown. I need to make a clip of that. If y'all haven't seen the touchdown that Tesla had, it's like prime. Essentially, it's like prime OBJ or like DeAndre Hopkins style catch. Truly sick stuff. And speak of the devil, there he is. Sharpman, what's up, brother?
Oh, what's up, Candyman? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Thanks for joining. Excited to talk week 2 with you, talk some sit starts, review our FFPC team, and then draft some battle royales if you're up for it. Have you drafted any of these BRs yet this week?
I did a couple main slate week 2. I haven't done any. I did some primetime paloozas that were like Monday and Thursday, but not any for this upcoming slate.
Nice. Was that the one offered last week? Was Monday and Thursday?
Yeah. So, well, they do like Thursday and Sunday, and then once Thursday kicks off, I think then they do Monday and Thursday is the next slate.
Yeah. Sunday and Monday. There's a ton of different tournaments offerings, 4-man, 6-man, the 12-man drafts, different price points, different multi-entry, single entries. So there's everything. I mean, anything you could want. It's almost overwhelming how many different like sets of ranks you could have every week, how many different teams you could draft in these BRs. And then I was going to ask you, do you have the Battle Royale Best Ball Overlay extension set up? Have you been using that, or have you been using the traditional NFL overlay?
So I haven't set it up yet. I actually haven't done any on my computer yet. I've only done a couple like on my phone, but I've only done maybe 4 or 5 BRs this week.
Gotcha.
Just to kind of get used to the slate and just see like, good matchups. I like stuff like that, but I don't really play too many early. And I didn't play too many week 1 because I was kind of still in best ball mode, but maybe this week I'll use the BR thing, all that.
I gotcha. Yeah, I thought it'd be kind of fun to do. I've never done NFL battle royales on Underdog. Last year, I was like, so I've done them in golf. Last year, I was sitting on the sidelines watching everyone do them for the Dog Bowl. I mean, that was the last 2 seasons we've had dog. We had 2 seasons of Dog Bowls. I've consumed a ton of Dog Bowl content. And then I've consumed a lot of Badge Bros content around some of these other tournaments, like the Primetime Paloozas, just the regular Battle Royale tournament. I've always kind of stay sharp and think about ADP movement and those kind of things. But I'm like, okay, this week I'm going to join. And then I just kind of get, not the week for me. And, it's so volatile week to week. And the scoring, we look back and in week 1, Javonte Williams, a top 3 running back. Like, who would have guessed? Right. So now in week 2, are we drafting him as a top 10 running back option in these like larger field main slate, tournaments? It's like, you might as well, right? Are you going
to
touchdown?
No, because he doesn't have the efficiency. It's too luck driven. You got to go with someone with the efficiency, right? You gotta,
I guess
you gotta prioritize the efficiency if they're getting similar workload, and then hope that the touchdowns.
But who is getting that workload in week 2? It's like the list of people. It's like 6 people.
Let me see where Javonte's ranked. He's got to be low. Yeah, Javante's like barely even drafted this week.
Bro,
Um, well,
that's
like James Conner goes over him. I would easily take Conner over him. Like Conner's like RB12.
well, and then Connor's playing the Panthers too, right? So whoops,
Yeah.
light mode. I,
But
I gotta find a better way to get these matchups.
Chuba versus Javante, Kamara versus Javante.
Oh,
I don't know. Javante
yeah,
plays the
I'm going
Giants.
Kamara there like every time. But I'm just
I
saying,
mean,
like,
I am
big brain
too,
this
but
stuff, especially players that didn't perform in week 1, like Brian Thomas, like these are obvious like targets, I think, at ADP, I would assume. So
I think if I'm like big braining it, I would even go down to maybe like you could go down to Montgomery. You go down to Dylan Sampson, Jalen Warren against the Seahawks. Either Seahawks
mhm.
running back against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh just got gashed on the ground. And those guys are not drafted at all. They have like 36.0 ADP. Well, they're getting drafted in Dog Bowl. They're not getting drafted in main slate BR.
Right, big difference. Yeah, what's
Yeah.
up, David? How we doing, brother?
That was up.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I just think of is like how much from week 1 is going to be repeatable in week 2, and how much of what happened in week 1 is like not at all a signal for week 2. I think of guys like George Pickens, not producing, not being a guy that would have got you anything in week 1. I'm not worried about
Mhm.
that in week 2. It's a new week. But then I think of things that we saw, right? You could say utilization. Who would I have
Like
to think of as a
Pacheco. Pacheco is one I'm
yeah?
scared of
I'm
this year
scared of
now.
Pacheco 100%. Like I'd take Javonte Williams over Pacheco in week 2, solely in week 2, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah, just
there's
based on
small
role.
considerations where it's just what's changed since, in the last 10 days.
Yeah. Yeah, like Pacheco's one of the biggest ones that stands out where his usage was very concerning. There's not a lot of guys I can think of, but he's one of the big ones that stood out where like, oh wow.
Damn,
How
that
you
sucks, bro. Hate to hear it. It's small sample size stuff. Even 150 teams is a small sample size. So you'll power through because you'll have some good weeks, you'll have some bad weeks. I was just saying earlier, I only had 11 of my 30 elims get through. I never got to a
Mhm.
big elim number because it closed before I could like shift gears from Best Ball Mania to the Eliminator, and I didn't do any slows. So I only got 30 elims in, and like more than half of them were with guests.
Mm.
Hartman, one of
Oh,
me and
right, because
your elims is still alive, I think.
you did the marathon deal, right? So you did like 6 of them that one night or whatever. You probably did like, yeah, like a big chunk of your because remember early on you had the marathon like before the schedule or anything, it was all eliminator drafts.
Yeah, well, that night that I did that, we only got to draft one eliminator because they wouldn't fill, and so that one's still alive.
Oh,
It was
right.
me, Meg, Steve, Emo, all drafted in elim, and that one's still alive. And I think we can look at it. You and I think we have one elim that's still alive, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
nice. Nice.
Maybe I'm talking
Yeah.
out of turn. I was throwing shade earlier at some other guests that I had that our elims are dead, but
Did you do any of the first quarter contest?
no, I just not the right
No.
timing for me.
I just checked mine. I got 32 out of my 45 eliminators made it through, and
Sick.
then 10 out of 30 first quarters. Which that one I was really happy with because that's only a 2 out of 12. And so I got 10 out of
That's a
30.
2
I
out of
was super
12?
happy.
Damn.
Yeah, and this week now is a 2 out of 5. So I actually have a way better chance.
That's
But like
sick.
that one, like especially early, people were drafting it so wrong. Like Alvin Kamara was like still a 4 or 5 turn pick, and I just pulled him up in the 4th like every time because the Saints early schedule is insanely soft. Like some of those running backs, people didn't account for it till like kind of close to the end. So if you
Yeah.
just drafted them early, you could just crush people at like running back and in a first quarter contest. I'm trying to flex a running back every single week against people. Like, and I'll just
True.
volume out receiver. And then I did a ton. I always built 3 QB. So I had a ton with
Smart.
Daniel Jones and Aaron Rodgers at the end.
Fucking
And
love
they
it.
just like carried a bunch of teams. So yeah. Yeah, that one
Sharpman.
worked out pretty
Sharpman
good.
strikes again. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I didn't have time to digest it and think it through, and so I didn't draft it. Is the second
Mhm.
quarter live, or is that
Yeah. Yeah, that one went live, I think today or yesterday.
I heard Huhaim's talking about it. That would
I think
be.
he was drafting them, I think.
I'm pretty sure I wasn't able to join in. I think I said what's up, but I had to go. There's so many right now.
Oh, and I did a dog bowl this week too, I guess. Forgot
Nice.
about that one.
Oh, there it is. Second quarter. Here it is, right here. It's hard to get that far to the end of the draft, but so the format again would be 2 out of 12 advance in week 5, and then 6, 7, 8. In week 8, there's a 374 person final. The catch
Mhm.
on this one is in the first quarter, there's no bye weeks. In this one, you have bye weeks in 6 and 7, but week 8 has 6 teams on bye. It's the biggest bye week in the entire season. So literally
Right.
during the final, like you can't use Jahmyr Gibbs. You can't use like, like a ton of players, right? Literally, what is that? It's like a six of the NFL.
Yeah, I think I would
A fifth of
significantly yeah, or yeah, if it's 6 teams, yeah, that's a sixth, right?
a six, a fifth,
Right.
six, a fifth of the
It's
NFL.
actually more because a
Right.
sixth would be if it was 36, yeah.
So
Um,
that's insane because I wouldn't even draft those players. Like if you have a week 8 bye, like I wouldn't even draft you because like you could get there with them, but then you can't win with them.
that's true. Yeah, it
So what
is
you do
tough. I
is,
would I would mostly if I was gonna take anyone on bye, I would take week 6 because that's by far the easiest advancement week, right?
oh, for
2 out of
sure. No,
5,
because that's going to be the
like
Texans and the
Addison.
Vikings.
Yeah.
But then also
Yeah.
week 7 is not terrible, but like if you have Josh Allen, you just need like 2 other QBs with him to get him through week 7. And same thing with Lamar. And then you can have Josh Allen and Lamar in the final. That's totally viable.
Yeah, well, and I think in these, especially from seeing like the pods in my first quarter teams, like it seems like ownership, especially on certain players, is going to be very concentrated. Like I have some pods of 5 in this one that are 4 teams have Derrick Henry.
Damn.
Like,
Yeah,
so or like a bunch of Josh Allen, bunch of Danny Dimes. Like there's a couple players who are very heavily concentrated.
sure.
So like I could see that with a guy with the week 7 by like if Josh Allen just carries those 2 weeks, you might be against 2 other Josh Allen teams. And and then you're kind of
True.
even playing field, right?
That's true.
Um,
I guess the 2 out of 12 advance really does that. It really concentrates towards the top,
mhm.
obviously.
Well, and just when you think about that shortened schedule, like that's kind of where, like, you think about those charts you were making, like that in the 3 week span, like spike weeks, right? Like,
Yeah,
even if
yeah,
a guy does have a week 8 bye, but if he's the like top dog all 3 of those weeks, or especially week 7, because that's only a 1 out of 4. If a guy is hitting all 3 of those weeks, but then week 7 he hits like the mega spike, even if he's gone week 8 he's still probably gonna be like a guy you needed, right, to get there.
he
I mean,
could be, but then my fear would be, depending on your draft capital you have in him, you might not be able to win, even if you get there. Like, if let's say it was a player you took, because this is 18 rounds, right? If it's a
yeah.
player you take after round 12, totally fine. They can have a week 8 bye, but like, what are the odds that a player taken that late is going to be that impactful? I don't know. But if it's
Mhm.
like Jahmyr Gibbs and he would have been like a top 4 rounds pick or 3 rounds or 2 rounds pick, I don't see how you can spend. Let's assume, I don't know what the ADPs are, but let's assume that Gibbs goes like, if he were going in like the top 3 rounds, I mean, you could hardly give up that much draft capital and expect to win in week 17 against teams who didn't have to spend that on a player in a buy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right, unless they absolutely, like, crush the slate. Even then, there's gonna be since it's only 1 out of 4, there's gonna be some who get through without them, and they're
Because
gonna have just such a
374 is
significant edge
plenty
on
big.
you. Yeah.
The
If it was,
teams are
like,
going to
less
be
than
duped in
100
certain ways.
maybe. Right, right, and
It's because
they're with a 1 out of 4, they're gonna get through even if he drops like a 35 or whatever that week. Week 7, even if he drops like a 35 and he's like you need him any pods that had him and he's like heavily represented, there's still gonna be a good chunk that don't have him at all with only a 4 person, right?
I'm
So
guessing the representation of players is going to be mostly concentrated in this first week 5. And then it's going to be random chance 2 out of 5, random chance 1 out of 4 with some kind of concentration around certain players, maybe QBs. But then, 374 team final, there could be like, oh, there's one team that has this player, but not really that likely. It's more likely that it's a bunch of teams that have a similar 3 out of their top 6 or 8 players that are like similar strong players that carried in the first week and did well throughout. And then it comes down to like, how many players do you have available in week 8, which is the week 17, and how many dead roster spots do you have between injuries and buys? And if you have like any draft capital on buy, I think you're dead.
Yeah.
If it's not a $1 bid kind of situation.
Yeah. So really the only guy you should take is Bashal Tootin, is what I'm hearing. Because he'll smash, but he goes late enough. So it's worth
or like
it.
Tesla.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's another good one.
Tesla's perfect. You throw him in there in the last round, or who knows where he goes in these, but Horton could be a similar guy.
Yeah. Just where it's late enough where one spike week pays off their ADP automatically.
We're touchdown hunting at that point.
Yeah. No, that actually makes sense. I haven't done any of these yet though, so
me either.
Really
just is all off the dome. I've never even thought about all this until we started talking about it. But it's actually, I like the game theory around this one more with the bye weeks than I did just the weeks 1 through 4, where it felt like, I guess what it came down to for me is if I was just drafting the first quarter, I would have been just drafting exactly how I drafted all summer. And I try to avoid that. Like, I didn't do any BRs in week 1 because like, what information did I have to change my draft strategy? And also I wanted a little break and I was kind of busy, but week 2, I feel like things are already changing. It's fun to new strats, new players, new ideas, new ADPs, new movements, take advantage of all that kind of stuff.
Well, and I think people in the first quarter who like drafted like normal best ball, they like got smoked in that. I don't think it worked out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, is I would have gotten screwed in week 1 anyways if I did draft. What's up, brother? How we doing, Crumb? So we got our first sit start. So the theme of the show tonight, we're going to be talking ball. We're going to be answering. The theme is answering any of your sit start questions, any of your decisions going into week 2. That's the running theme of the show. But also we're going to be looking at some of our own leagues and our own sit start decisions. We're going to review our FFPC team. We got an L in week 1, unfortunately, kind of, tough week. But we're feeling good about week 2. And Hartman, I haven't checked yet. Spoiler alert. Don't spoil it. I don't know how our waivers went, but I'm cautiously optimistic that we got Harold Fannin. We'll check that out in like a couple minutes. But then also, we're going to draft some battle royale teams and have some fun tonight. So our very first sit start Q&A question of week 2 from Crumb, 12 team, half PPR, Love or T-Law? Hartman, let's start right there. Love or T-Law? And we know that Love is playing the Thursday night game against the Commanders, but the over-under is actually almost 49 points. It's actually pretty high, and it's home game for Green Bay. Or T-Law in a matchup that's going to be, where's that one? I think they're also home, right?
Oh, they're at the top against the Bengals.
There it is. Oh, they're away at the Bengals. That's right. Okay, that's the one. Interesting. It has a
same line,
48.5. It's a similar line,
but they're not favored in that one, so they're implied like 6 points less or 7 points less or something.
Yeah,
how that works?
Sure.
If it's a 3.5 to 3.5 like swing, that's 7 total. Is that? I think that's right. But I think just in general, I prefer Jordan Love. I feel like T-Law, he kind of is starting slow. Maybe it's going to take him a little bit to get used to that offensive system. Jordan Love seemed pretty good right away. It seemed like he had a connection with Golden right away.
I thought the passing volume was pretty low for the Packers, though. So that's my only, devil's advocate. Like, their passing volume was pretty low. What was T-Law's though in week 1?
But would you think that I would think Washington should be able to push them, even with their good defense? But what was T-Law? That's actually a good question. So T-Law threw for 178, but if you click on the score, it'll bring up the game log, or it'll bring up like the
Right.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way to go dark mode on ESPN, but I don't think there is. Well, I could. If someone knows in the chat, I'm not particularly logged into ESPN anymore, but used to be, not anymore. But yeah, T-Law, 31 attempts. And then Jordan Love, wasn't he at like 22 attempts? Was it that
That
low? 22.
that's yeah, that sounds right. But I mean, they kind of
Higher
worked the
efficiency.
line, sadly. Um,
So
it
I would
was
just say, I think our gut instinct is like, yeah, it's gonna be Love, but could it be a bounce back week for T-Law to silence the haters? And going up against the Bengals, where in week one, I mean, Flacco, he had some unfortunate picks, but he threw for 290. And, the Bengals defense, they held him to 16 points, but I think any other universe, Cleveland could have won that either without missing the extra point or the field goal or scoring one more touchdown on a drive where there was like a really unfortunate deflection, interception. So, yeah,
mm,
I think I'm still going with the Packers just because they're right now looking like the better team. It's a tough matchup though, Thursday night game, but yeah, my gut says Love
w-
there.
well, and I don't. I kind of because you were talking about it earlier. I actually don't really know if it's that tough of a matchup defensively. I think I kind of feel like either the Commanders push them and it's like a shootout, or the Packers just stomp them. I don't. I I just would see it hard to like see it going where the Commanders put up a lot of points and really hold the Packers defensively.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's more like I'm just a little bit afraid of that Packers defense being so good that
That they
they're
go
not
run
forced to
heavy.
like throw a ton. But at the same time, the Washington offense is you're not going to bench any of those guys either, right? They're still going to produce.
Right, because you're playing against like must start guys and everything. And I don't know, like T Law just looked shaky, and I don't know. I'm not a T Law believer, I guess. So I'm always gonna kinda be maybe a little bit biased against him. But I don't know. I think Love looked pretty good and maybe the volume will be a little bit more limited, but I think he looked a lot more efficient and their offense looked a lot better than Jacksonville's.
Word. Second part, and we'll get through this, and because we got a bunch of other set starts that have popped up in the
Oh,
chat. Love to
yeah.
see it. Flex Hendy, Hunter, or AJ Brown, and then Kraft or Fannin straight up. My thought there would be if we're starting Love, maybe start Kraft.
Mhm.
And then for the flex, I would have to say, without even, I mean, we can look at the matchups, but like just off the top of my head, I'm looking for a
Well,
bounce back for AJ Brown, but maybe he's playing a little bit of decoy. Maybe his hamstring that he injured preseason is lingering. He is playing the Chiefs. Could be an interesting matchup.
mhm.
For if it wasn't AJ Brown, I would be somewhat interested in Henderson. The
He
Patriots,
plays Miami. I like Henderson a little bit.
yeah, I guess we'd have to go with Henderson. So I'm going to do slight lean to Henderson based on the health of AJ Brown. Also, if you feel like so inclined to go T-Law, you might want to start him with Hunter. And then, so it's either, Love it with Kraft. I mean, you could still have T-Law and Hunter and Kraft, but we're kind of saying we'd go Hendo there, Hendo season at
I
Miami.
I th I think at tight end I'd slightly lean Kraft either whichever QB you go.
Yeah.
But, it's close though. I think you're not really wrong going either way, but I'd lean Kraft.
You're in like a good situation where you have Kraft and Fannin on your team. You're set the
Mhm.
rest of the season.
Exactly, yeah.
Ooh, 1 out of 10 for the first quarter. Ugh. But that's kind of the odds. I mean, the implied odds are like 1 out of 6. And the small, if you did 10, I mean, it's really, I've found in any tournament where I've drafted like 10 teams and the advance is 2 out of 12, you're lucky to get 2 out of 10. 3 out of 10, you should feel great. So one out
Mhm.
of 10, I mean, that's just kind of how it rolls. But yeah, that sucks.
Well, and, like, draft slot matters so much too. Like,
Yes,
40% of my advancing teams were Derrick Henry. So, if you
that's
were in a
crazy.
Derrick Henry spot, yeah. It's only 10 though, so I mean.
Rabona is 52 out of 80. He wish he maxed the elim. That's a pretty good rate right there. I like to see it. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, McBride's another tight end for the 8. I mean, the 8 is going to be the craziest thing in that second quarter contest because there's 6 teams on week 8 and there's a lot of good players in those teams.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, it is.
I did check this out right before I went on stream for a minute. I actually still have it pulled up. We can look into this later. We can look up some elim stuff. I mean, I only have 11 teams remaining, so it's not that interesting. And I didn't match up with anyone that I personally know, but hopeful, it's coin flips from here on out. I hope I can make it another 4 or 5 weeks with at least one team getting through just to have something to sweat.
I
Hartman, did
don't
you
think
say
I
what
got
yours?
a single. Oh, so I did 45. I got 32 through.
You
So
said
I
that.
had
Did
pretty
you
good
have any
advantage.
matchups with anyone that you recognize?
I don't think so. I looked through just on the underdog side. I didn't look on the BBMDB yet. That's probably easier. I'm just gonna look real quick. I don't think anyone I noticed though. Yeah,
Gotcha.
no. Oh well, one guy I know from the Discord. Zero fucks.
Oh, classic
Yeah,
Discord name. Yeah, I know Zero. I
yeah.
think he's done some streams with Nick, if I'm not
With
mistaken.
Nick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've done some with them both too.
Yeah, I thought you had. I thought you had. Yo, what up, Chad? How we doing, brother? Long time listener, first time caller. Love to see it. Thanks for joining in on the late night shift. Half point PPR, Fannin or Strange? I'll hang up and listen to your answer. Classic phoning in to this is the Howard Stern show with your host Howard Stern, and we got Sharpman here, aka my dog, aka Hartman Fantasy Football. Make sure you guys, you already are, but make sure you guys are also subscribed to Hartman's YouTube channel. Links below, and you can follow him on Twitter too. You don't know when he's going live, all that good stuff. But Hartman's socials are linked below. Hartman and I have been drafting together. It feels like an eternity, but it's been all summer. It's been a lot of fun, and he's a very sharp drafter. So he's a good co-host to have on here to talk some ball. Chad, also a great YouTube channel. Check out Chad Candles YouTube. He's a morning streamer, which I love to see. A lot of times I'll get to listen in if I'm lucky enough to not be changing diapers that early in the morning. But Chad's question here, Fannin or Strange in half point PPR? I'm going to toss this one over to my co-host Sharpman.
I would probably lean Harold Fannin. I
Hell
think.
yeah. Slap it up.
Um, I think that
This was a
Strange's
softball
target
pitch. This was
volume.
Chad was just softball pitching this one right to us so we could slap it out of the park. You don't have to, and you could be completely blind to slap this one out of the park. I mean, who is excited to go Strange? I mean, of course, I think he had the most receptions on the Jaguars week 1, if I'm not mistaken, at least among the pass
with
catchers. But like,
with 4 though. With 4.
exactly, who's that
Yeah.
excited about Strange right now? It's the fan and
Well,
hype train.
would Fannin get like 9 targets or something? Like
I think it was 9 touches or
7
8
catch.
targets or whatever it was. Yeah, you're not wrong.
I think it was 7 catches, 9 targets or something.
You're
Yeah, but
definitely right.
he had like a way better week than Strange just on like just from like volume perspective. I think their yardage was similar. Strange might even beat him by a little, but Fannon's
Is
volume
Strange? I
was
thought he had like
better.
53 or something. We can go back and I mean, I don't think
I
you're
just
wrong, but
looked
I
at
just don't remember.
Strange. He had 59, 4 for 59 for Strange.
That's
I
what it
don't know
was.
Fannon's exact stat line though. I didn't look at Fannon's.
I think it was in the 60s, but it might be total yardage.
Oh, okay. I thought he had like 40 something, but maybe that was Dylan Sampson.
Sampson had 64. Fannin had 63
Oh,
receiving,
63.
and then he also had the 3 rushing. So I guess I don't know why I thought the rushing was more than it was, but
Okay, so he actually had a little bit more yardage too and more volume, so,
I mean,
you know.
Cleveland threw it 45 times though. It's like what's insane about that. They
Well
just kept ending their drives with interceptions and bad timing, and like they could have easily beaten the Bengals in week 1,
but I think they were the highest pass volume team last year too. That's
which
just
is crazy.
Stefanski.
Like we've known this,
Stefanski's
but
super pass heavy.
yeah,
Yeah, their
lends
QBs
itself
just
well
suck.
to Tillman. Also, like there are so many pass catchers on that team that can pay off. Sampson being one of them. There's like 5 pass catchers you might want to have.
Mhm. Oh yeah, yeah, like I actually really like Tillman even like on like for the weekly slate. It's kind of
Yeah,
like a scroll down cuz I don't know, like the Ravens pass defense is okay, but Tillman, I mean, he's beat Judy in the last like 5 games in a row they've played together. He's like out targeted, better yardage, higher percentage touchdown, like just
right.
beat Judy in like everything.
That's a fun question. Trenton, Orlando. What's up, brother? How we doing? Bo Nix, Baker Mayfield this week. You know, that's a good one. I'm going to have to dive into these matchups because I haven't thought about either of those players. Although I have Baker Mayfield in my home league, so I should be pretty concerned about what's going on there. Any first
Mhm.
take from you, Hartman, while I start to look at these matchups? Are you also kind of curious?
Uh, I think Bo Nix. Does Tampa Bay play Houston? Is
Yeah,
that
Tampa
right?
Bay's Houston on Monday night. It's the early game. The Houston
Okay, right.
defense, they just gave up 14 points to the Rams, and I mean, one of the lower scoring games of the week 1 slate. So,
Yeah, I think I lean Bo Nix kind of bounce back game against the Colts. That might just be a little bit high scoring in general, if the Colts offense looks decent again. But I think the Broncos, maybe they kind of get right against them, have a little bit of a bounce back. And just the Texans defense, I think, is really good. So that has
yeah,
me a little bit lower on Baker.
I'd probably do a slight lean there to Bo Nix as well, but you're in a good spot. You got two good options. It's just potentially a bad weekly matchup for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against Houston.
Oh yeah, definitely. Both those are super solid options.
Love the profile pick here from
Yeah.
Timon Shamus. What's up, brother? You got Amon Ra, Terry McLaurin, and DJ Moore and Travis Hunter and Keon. I mean, you got a lot going on there. That's Downs and Godwin, of course. Okay. So we know where you're standing here.
Hmm.
I guess it's how many we had to start. Let's see. Uh,
No,
do you
it's a
feel
trade
about
question.
trading DJ for Rice? Like Keon's matchup this week and next week for sure, half PPR. So
So you
I'm gonna
must.
say you're starting Amon Ra every week regardless. You're starting Terry unless you don't have to. I think I still would. You're starting Hunter. You're starting Keon. You got Godwin riding, your IR spot for late season. You're gonna chill with Downs on your bench for bye weeks for right now. DJ Moore. It's between him and Terry, who you're kind of like benching out of that group, I would assume. What do you
I
think, Hartman?
I would do the trade. I think that with Terry and Amonra up top, you're strong enough to weather
Yeah.
it. And DJ Moore, he's gonna kind of be up and down. It might take a little bit for Caleb to, get used to this offense. It wasn't like a great week one, I don't think, for him anyway,
Dude,
right?
Caleb looked terrible.
Well, I'm not even DJ Moore. I don't think he was like the leading receiver probably, but he didn't have a good game.
I
Um,
thought
three
Caleb
for
missed a lot
68.
of easy passes. Some people were defending him. I didn't think his passing game was very good. He got way bailed out with his huge rushing game. So he's a better fantasy quarterback than a real life quarterback. From what I can see, DJ
Oh yeah, for
Moore
sure.
still led them in receiving yards, but only on 3 receptions, 5 targets. That's pretty hard. It didn't really pay off because without the touchdown. So
And I guess that's like I don't think DJ Moore is giving you a significantly better like weekly floor than a Keon. Maybe DJ Moore's true ceiling is a little bit better, but
true.
I think getting Rice when you're only weathering that for a couple more weeks is worth it. And
I
Keon's bye, Rice will be back that week, so you're good for
Yep.
that too.
I'm in. I agree. I think if you can afford to carry a Godwin and a Rice, and you're not struggling at other positions to like add drop or you have a deep bench, I think you're good. So I think I agree with Hartman there. Also, yeah, Timon was saying he prefers Fannin for Crumb. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. We're pretty in on Fannin. Speaking of Fannin, we're gonna pull up Fannin in a few short moments here to find out if we got him in our FFPC Big Gorilla. Hartman already knows the answer.
Mhm.
No spoilers, Hartman. I
No,
haven't
no,
looked,
I
but I
don't.
did.
No, no, I don't know.
You haven't looked
I
either?
didn't end up looking. No, when
Okay,
you
now you're
said
just
that,
you.
I was about to look and then I didn't.
Oh,
So,
okay. Maybe you're
yeah.
just humoring me, but
No, no, I have no idea if we got him or not.
sure, sure. Yeah. This guy can't, he's a terrible liar. He can just read his face. Look at that smile. He's not falling for that. Yeah, the Cincy Jags feels like it's going over. I mean, the
Probably
Cincy,
both those defenses suck.
probably the Cincy and Cleveland game week 1 went kind of low, but I think you're probably right there,
Well,
Anthony.
but I mean, Cleveland's defense should be pretty nice, right? I mean, their corners are good. They got a good D line. They spent a first round pick on that D tackle, and they have Miles
Oh,
Garrett.
Cleveland with Miles. Yeah, yeah, with Miles Garrett. Yeah, I was thinking more about it. It's like, yeah, I think you're right.
And their corners are good too, I think. I think they're just not like super big names.
True.
Um,
Trenton also wants to know, should he start DJ Moore this week over Keenan Allen or Tyler Warren? If it's like you said, it was half point PPR. Oh no, you didn't give us any indication, but let's just assume it's half point PPR and it's a flex position because you're considering Tyler Warren there. Because Tyler Warren against Denver, I don't know if I am super excited about that for any particular reason to start him over a wide receiver like Keenan Allen or DJ Moore. The DJ Moore playing on Keenan Allen playing on Monday night at Las Vegas. That's kind of a fun matchup to go for, I think, where we just saw Herbert come out like guns a-blazing. I want more pieces of that. So I'm intrigued. And then DJ Moore against Detroit. I'm kind of more cautious about that after what we saw in week 1. The low volume passing from Chicago.
Yeah, I think we're leaning the same way. I'm with like Keenan Allen probably.
Me
because
too.
I think the matchup is by far the easiest, and he looked good week 1. It looked like Herbert had the connection again, so and last game of the week, Monday night, you kind of get that last hope if you are down or whatever, or if you're up, you get to just pour it on, which feels even better.
I like it. Yeah, it's like, oh, I need 25 points tonight from Keenan Allen. Well, at least you have a shot,
Yeah.
Or maybe you're already up. That's a strong call. The thing with AJ Brown, Anthony, I'm just like so worried about the potential that he's still lingering with the hamstring and he's not like full go, but it's so hard to know these things.
Yeah, I wonder a little bit if real AJ Brown won't be back until like week 4 or 5, something like that.
Oh, yeah, true. So it's a good timeline. If I think of like you're playing through it, but you're still like 80% or less. Yeah, probably by about week 4 or 5. Well, Timon was saying a 3 wide receiver, 2 flex. It's pretty deep. But yeah, you're in a good spot there. I think we still like the idea of getting Rice.
I think so too. It's close though.
Tillman's looking good, Paulino. 100%. Some people were more in on Tillman than I was. I have some Tillman. I'm not like overweight Tillman, but looking good.
I looked and somehow he became like my 3rd highest owned receiver by the end.
Bizarre. That's crazy. Yeah, I think Anthony's got you here too. Anthony also a very sharp drafter. And he also has been streaming best ball drafts. Our friend Anthony from Best Ball on Call, he's been on the channel and he also goes live. So make sure you check out Anthony's YouTube channel as well. Friend of the channel and sharp drafter. Putt Daddy says, how about a home league? He's got 6 wide receivers, not elite though. So he could probably, start off strong running back or maybe QB. He's got Flowers and Pearsall, Jacoby Myers, Keon Coleman. So just out of those first 4, and Pickens. Out of those 5, I'm leaning. Obviously, you're going to keep rolling with Flowers. This is momentum, year 3 breakout. You want Pickens in there. You want Pearsall in there. You also want Coleman in there. I think Myers is my least favorite of that. And then you got Jalen. Oh, Waddle. I thought you were going to say Jalen Warren. And you also have Jalen Waddle. You need 3 half-point PPR. Okay. I'll give mine, and then I'll see what Hartman thinks. And this is mostly just based on momentum and not super particular to the week 2 matchups, but a little bit influenced. I'm thinking I want. Damn, that's tough. I think. You got it. If you only pick 3, I am gonna go. Let's keep it rolling with Flowers against Cleveland, although that might be a tough matchup, and who knows. I'm going to say Pearsall because he seems like the only healthy piece, and it's against New Orleans. And so the caveat there is Purdy's out. We didn't talk a whole lot about this yet, but Purdy's out for this foreseeable future. So how worried are you about Mac Jones being their guy, right?
I think it depends on the matchup. I think given the Saints matchup, I'm not super worried in this game. I think Mac Jones is competent. BTJ is a whole lot better with Mac Jones than T-Law, for example.
Yeah, he definitely leans on his top guys, and he's, being with Kittle out too, it looks like Pearsall's one of the only healthy guys. So I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go Flowers, Pearsall, and then I think I have to say Pickens, if I'm being honest. What we saw from Keon Coleman was sick, but we saw Keon Coleman have a really volatile rookie season where he'd have these like huge games, and he never always put it all together. He didn't always have like the touchdowns with the big yardage games. He put it all together in week 1, but I feel like Pickens, home game for Dallas, there's just I got to go with my gut there. So I would just pick. It's hard. You got a lot of good options. I'd go Flowers, Pearsall, Pickens, and then you have to bench Coleman.
That's actually funny. That's exactly the same for me. It's like Flowers and Pearsall are locks, and then Pickens and Coleman is the debate. And I also slightly lean Pickens, but I'm pretty biased. I actually really like Pickens and Coleman, but I lean Pickens a little. I value him more, and I think the Giants matchup is a good one too. I also like the matchup.
Part of the problem of drafting with Hartman is that we think alike way more often than we think when we diverge on our opinions. So we ended up just drafting the same way we usually do with like very little, it's like sometimes you want to draft with someone that you kind of butt heads with a little bit so that you kind of get a different flavor. But at the same time, it's also fun drafting with someone where like you're on the same wavelength. It's like, hey, we're going Pickens here, right? It's like, hell yeah. All right, let's roll.
Yeah, it's such an obvious pick. Like we already know who the pick is here. Yeah.
And then week 16, we're just looking like, what happened? How did we go wrong?
Yeah. What do you mean Cowboys doubles weren't the way?
Yeah, what you mean Cowboys double stacks, which in Best Ball Mania I have 9 of, wasn't the way? I couldn't believe it. I have 9 teams in Best Ball Mania that has Dak with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. I have 9 of them.
I think I had 8 or 9.
Yeah,
also.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's like, well, because you could do it for so long when Pickens was going on the 4-5. You just do it like whenever. Yeah.
It was free. And then Dak was free too. Dak was always around pick 120, and then he kept going up to pick 100.
Yeah. Look up the RBs.
Yeah, this is so true. This is so true, Paulino.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. Anthony is also, he's in the circle. He's one of us. Don't forget DJ Moore was the RB2. Yeah, Go Easy Cards has a great point there. DJ Moore was the RB2, so that could push you over the edge a little bit.
Yeah.
With Purdy being out, I think put that in. We were talking to that. Hartman brings up a good point. Mac Jones tends to lean on his top target, and with Kittle out, does this become like a super McCaffrey game? It easily could. Or does Pearsall get the most targets he's ever had in his career? Could also happen.
Well, I think both could be true. I mean, with that many guys out, there might be enough to go around.
True. I mean, the injury bug is thriving in San Francisco.
So, and what's up with Juwan? Is he hurt or does he just suck?
Oh, I think they said he's good to go. I think it's maybe some lingering. Does he suck? I mean, how bad?
I mean, okay, he does. He does. There's not. I guess there's no reason to ask that as a question, but like,
oh my god,
is he
a
healthy?
big Juwan hater?
What do you have? Like a catch, 2 catches,
He had 5 targets, which is fine, but then 2 for 16, just like Brian Thomas with 2 less targets.
Yeah, but the rushing, he doesn't have the rushing upside BTJ does. That's the difference.
That's true. I mean, I guess a lot. I mean, Pearsall did get 7 targets in week 1 and put up some numbies with the 108 yardage, but
CMC got 10.
Yeah, wild. So, yeah,
Crazy.
I think it's a pause on Juwan right now. He's been dealing with the injuries, the calf. You don't want to be overexposed to that.
Yeah, he might be starting a little slow just from that. Yeah, I'm just hating.
Sure.
I'm just hating.
I know Hartman's a known hater of Juwan Jennings, but you're not wrong with the slick Ricky Pearsall love. So I mean, that's hitting pretty. It's a good hit early. Starting Monroe, Terry Hunter, Keon, Kyron, Chase Brown, and Pacheco Downs Chubb. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, obviously you got to start Kyron and Chase Brown every week. Makes sense. If I do the trade, I think we're good with that. Yeah. Hey, appreciate you, Trenton. Glad you could stop by. Thanks for the question. My opponent is starting Josh Allen, so part of me wants to lean Coleman as one of my wide receivers. I've also kind of thought about this. I mean, but then what about this? it's a Josh Allen game where he scores like 2 rushing touchdowns as he's one to do, but this time he doesn't throw any. Then you're just out there in the cold with like the worst type of leverage against you. So it goes both ways.
Well, but I think though in theory, when Josh Allen spikes, the probability that Keon is spiking is a lot higher, right? So like
Yes, if
you'd
it
want to
was Joe
play him.
Burrow, if it was Joe Burrow, yes. But Josh Allen, it's like he could spike without any receivers. He did it all last season.
Yeah, and I guess he could also not spike and Keon could still spike. I was just thinking because like if Allen spikes, like he's not gonna have like an amazing passing game and then not have a spike week. So it's like I would imagine the likelihood's higher in general, I guess, because he had a better week. But I get what you're saying. Like he can easily spike without bringing anyone with him. And he spreads
Imagine,
the ball a lot.
yes, yes, sir. Josh Allen's floor, 19 points, 20 points with his rushing upside. Maybe he has limited passing touchdowns and just decent yardage. That can like screw over Keon Coleman to where he has like a terrible game, 27 yards, 45 yards, no touchdown. And then Josh Allen still can crush like with like that 20 point compared to maybe you start a quarterback, whoever, a pocket passer that still has a decent week, puts up like 16 or 18 points. So like Josh Allen can still crush you without having to go off with one of his receivers. The only reason I kind of feel strongly about that is I was starting Josh Allen in my home league all last year, and I had Keon Coleman and I had Khalil Shakir, and I kept trying to start all 3 of them on a bunch of weeks, and it never paid off. It was the idea was always to just start Josh Allen naked.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
paid off once in a while, but not enough where I like ever was excited. Yeah, we're slapping it up on Fannin for sure, Crumb. Which reminds me, let's scroll through these questions super fast because let's play catch up in the chat, and then we'll jump over to see if we got Fannin in our FFPC draft. What's up, Nick Mullen? How we doing, brother? Hey, this is the Nick Mullins. Damn, dude, we got an NFL player in the chat here tonight. This is sick. And he's got Squidward in the Abbey. Love it. Big Squidward fan in this household. Got offered Dak and Reek for Purdy, Ayuk, Sutton. Okay, let me think about that for a second. You got offered Dak and Reek, so you have to take on Tyreek Hill. Gross, but you get Dak. Nice. You're giving up Purdy. Yes, do that. You're giving up Ayuk. We're good. We're giving up Sutton. Yes, this is a smash. You have to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's pretty easy, right? You're just upgrading at receiver and upgrading at QB. And he's taking 2 injured guys. I mean, and Sutton looks good, but he's not as good as Tyreek probably for upside. And he says later too his other receivers are like insane. So you should just get the upside piece.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
you
like
just need to get Dak. You need to lock down Dak. Your team's already stacked.
Is it a dynasty? Because I don't know how you would get that. Huh?
It's a keeper league.
Oh, he said keeper. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, no, I think definitely do the trade. Go for upside. You already have enough keepers. Yeah.
Always play for upside. You're not trying to get 5th in our leagues. We're not trying to get 4th in our leagues. We're trying to get first. Always all upside. All gas, no breaks. Go. I mean, I don't even like Tyreek Hill that much this season. I was a slight fade on the Dolphins, but it was actually a big fade on the Dolphins, except for Achan. But still, his ceiling is definitely higher than those other guys. And you want Dak. I'm super bullish on Dak. And I think with what happened to Purdy and the injury, you can't wait around for Purdy to get better. You need to win now.
Yeah, and I think you're buying Dak low, and like I actually think that's a pretty good offer for Purdy, considering he just got placed on IR. We're hopeful it's a short stint, but we don't really know. And IU kind of same deal. Where hopefully he's back week 7, 6, whatever, but we don't really know. So you're getting rid of both of these, getting solid starters right away.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah,
go AZ cards with the second team practice squad / second team offense narrative, which I think is hilarious and always fun to think about too. With San Francisco, all of those guys are also hurt. You have like Jordan Watkins hurt. You have like Demarcus Robinson suspended. Like all these guys are also gone.
who's the one guy people like Cowling or Counting or what's his name?
Jacob Cowling.
Yeah. What about him? Some people say he's like goated though. I thought some people are like
fine.
In college he had a teammate he was like better than people always. Who is it? Or I don't know, maybe I thought he has
Was
like
it?
a college teammate who's actually a good NFL player, and it's like, oh, he was better than this guy
I
one
I already
time.
closed out a player profiler. There's no way I can search it at this point. I'm
Okay, all
starting to
right,
cut down on I have like 30 tabs open right now. I had to cut down a bit.
all right. So what about
We'll never know.
what about the bid though? That's the real question. Did we get the
Well, we have to
man?
get to the chat. We have to finally get
Oh,
through.
I thought we got through.
No, it
Oh,
never
my
ends.
bad.
Oh yeah, stacking Dak with CD is sick. Love that. Sutton is better than Reek. I mean, he could be at this point in his career. Reek's going through some shit. The best player in the trade. Maybe. I mean, it's not crazy. Maybe. The Broncos are definitely a fun offense, fun team. Keep for every year. Yeah, keeper. My brother's in a few keeper leagues. I've never done a keeper league. To me, it's like interesting, but I've always been more of like a true dynasty. Maybe Kittle's replacement. That guy, the Tongan guy, or whatever his name is,
Oh yeah.
came out of nowhere. First catch in the NFL last week, week 1. All right, the moment
He
of
looked decent though.
truth. Let's roll a clip to get hyped up. Just a random clip. That's just T-Mac for no good reason other than we actually have him on this squad. But
We do?
don't forget to like
Oh
and
yeah, we do.
subscribe. I'm gonna pull it up here. And make sure I'm in the right window, refresh and everything, and then I'll pull it on. The moment of truth. Drum roll. Did we win Harold Fannin? I'm gonna go to transactions. Wasn't it? It's how do we see it again? Week 2 transactions.
Transactions and then like completed bid groups or something should be in there.
I'm gonna go to my team.
I could pull it up if you want.
There's the interface is to me a little bit like old
Yeah,
school.
it's
Or it's
weird
like,
with all the menu. Like you gotta find the menu in the menu to actually get to it or whatever.
yeah, I can't stand that.
It's
But
weird on there. Yeah.
uh,
It's like my fantasy league. It's like playing on my fantasy league.
unless it hasn't refreshed on my side, I don't think it's refreshed on my side. It
Oh,
looks
sometimes like I remember when we did the first one, it took like an hour, but it ran after like an hour or something.
okay. Do you have it pulled up? Mine doesn't show anything.
I'm opening it right now. Let me go here.
Oh shit! Fuck, dude.
We
I
still have
found it.
$5.99 remaining, so we definitely didn't get Fannin. Oh, you found it?
Yeah, I found it. Someone
Oh,
bid
okay.
700 for Fannin.
I figured because I was thinking like my other team, for example, I got like Dallas Goddard tight end one. And like if you had a team like that, you should just blow like 70% of your budget. Were we second even?
We will never know, I don't think. Or no,
No.
we were not.
Yeah.
Damn,
Damn,
we didn't
Xavier
make any
Legette for
transactions.
278. Or he dropped Xavier Legette. Jonnu for 278.
That's also pretty crazy.
Yeah. Jake Tongas for 45. Honestly, like if we didn't have Bowers, that would have been worth it. I mean,
Not
like
for
if
me.
you had like a lower tier tight end, he might just get enough volume. Like not for us, but like
imagine we
for the
had
less
Kittle
fortunate.
and Evan Ingram. Then yes, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, we added 0 players in this waiver run because we bid on Fannin, got destroyed. Jonnu got destroyed. Butte got destroyed. And then we put in $1 for Daniel Jones. Like, we didn't actually need him, though. And we got destroyed there as well.
We were the next highest bid, though. So someone bid 56. They could have put 2.
I mean, we don't really need a player for this week, though, do we?
No, we were just kind of looking like I think if we could have got Fannin, I think he was the only like giant ad or like John. It's kind of funny. Jonnu was one that like we were just like, oh yeah, throw him on for the 4th guy just in case. And he goes for like 278.
Bro, that's insane. And also, me and you were like, should we do 401 or 403 to get Fannin? You're like, throw in the extra 2 just so we feel good about it. We get blown out of the water, 700. Like, that didn't even matter.
I really expected that with so many people with 1,000 left, but like you just never know if they're not. I mean, they didn't pick him up last week. We didn't either, but we had Brock
I know.
Bowers. So it was like, well, like we should have, but when you have Brock Bowers, you're not looking at tight end as much, I think.
Bro, we got destroyed. Okay. Well, let's go through our sit start for our own team because hey, we're here now. And this is Hartman and I's Got That Dog team. I think it's a pretty sick profile picture. I Googled dog wearing sunglasses. Very, good vibes for this team. Although we're 0-1 to start. Yikes. But we'll make it up. We're kind of a back-weighted team as it is. We drafted 0 RB.
Yeah.
We had the Rice news come through where Rice was our 3rd round player.
Yeah, Rice was either our 2nd or 3rd, and then AJB. It was Rice and AJB like on the turn.
Right. So we've got Jalen Hurts feeling good, Tony Pollard feeling good, Samson sick, T-Mac, come on now, let's get up to speed. Keenan Allen's nice, Brock Bowers smash, hoping health for his whole knee situation.
And
AJ
tight end
Brown
premium for anyone who doesn't know. It's
tight end premium, PPR scoring, weeks 1 through 12 to get out of this pod. AJ Brown head-to-head matchups. We faced one of the better teams in week 1 though too, scoring wise, not like overall wise, like player wise, but like the score we had. And the guy who beat us had the 3rd highest score.
Oh yeah. I mean, for sure, like in the 140s, that's a super high score.
Yeah, our score was not terrible.
Even in like my other league that like just drafted, with all the news, like other than the teams that just picked all the spike guys from week 1, yeah, like pretty much no one broke into scores like that. That was like a pretty good score.
Yeah, what's up, BBG? How we doing, brother? Oh God, BBG, we're just going through our big gorilla. How did your week 1 go and yours? I know you guys did at least one with Neil, but did you do more than that? And how did you guys do? So then I guess Hartman, for us, it comes down to we don't really have a choice. We need to play AJ Brown. There's no question there, right?
Yeah, can we see the bench for just a second?
Yeah.
Okay, so and then what do we have at receiver?
We've got
not a goddamn thing.
We're starting T-Mac and Keenan Allen, and then our first flex is AJ Brown.
I mean, we probably just don't touch it, I think.
I think so too.
None of those young guys got shit week 1. And these
receivers. Trey Harris, Jaden Higgins, AD Mitchell, they didn't do anything week 1. And I don't think we're confident enough in Ollie Gordon or Brian Robinson to start them over AJ Brown. That seems stupid. But, Higgins, do we hold out hope for Monday night with Higgins that we get a big game out of him? Or
I think it's Higgins or Scadaboo would be the choices, right? He rushed twice. But Caleb Johnson, he had like 1 carry, right?
Yeah, he's like negative, dude. He returned 5 kickoffs. Do we get kickoff return yards?
Damn, 132 yards on 5 kickoffs. They should let him run the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I heard he fumbled one of them too.
Oh, damn. Yeah, well, and that makes sense. So he's good on kickoffs because isn't his whole deal you got to give him like 5 yards to get up to speed, and then he's like a freight train. But
yeah,
in the NFL you don't get. Yeah,
I thought this was what up, Nino Pina. I thought this was Go AZ Cards because it's the same exact color in a profile picture. So I completely looked over this one because I was like, oh, we'll get back to that in a second. But let's jump into this question because that's the whole theme for tonight. We're doing a Q&A sit start for week 2. And we just did a little segue into looking at our waiver bids for our FFPC Big Gorilla team, which we got smashed. We got destroyed. We did not get Harold Vannon for 400. He went for 700. But Nino says, put in Pollard over any other of these guys, Etienne, Egbuka, or DJ Moore. Me personally, given whatever format, I'm taking Pollard over DJ Moore. But I do like the thought of rolling with the hot hand in Etienne against Cincinnati. And I also like the idea of Egbuka versus Houston, although we've been warning against the Monday night game in Houston. It's a home game for Houston. It's arguably the best defense in the league. Is Stingley going to play? Is he kind of smashed up? I don't even know yet the full extent if Stingley's like in or out, but could be a tough matchup. I'm definitely like Pollard over DJ Moore. How about you, Hartman?
Yeah, Pollard over DJ Moore. I think after Igbuka's smash week 1, you kind of got to keep playing them. And ETN looked great. Cincinnati's defense is soft. You know, they just got rid of Bigsby. So I think you got to play him too. I would bench DJ Moore for Pollard, but yeah. We didn't have enough.
700. Our max bid was 599. Someone saw that and said, "Let me stump these idiots who spent all this money week 1 on Ollie Gordon."
Oh, I looked at my other one real quick. I actually had a big bid on Juwan for 111. I didn't get him. What do you think Juwan Johnson went for?
I will say 700.
No, he went for 436.
Okay, I mean that's ballpark. What's the difference?
Calvin Austin went for 300. Adam Thielen went for 200.
Calvin Austin went for 300.
Yeah, Calvin Austin went for 300. And I'm sorry, Kayshawn Booty went for 200. Adam Thielen was a drop.
Booty for 200 is fine. Calvin Austin for 300 is burning money.
Yeah, and it's crazy. The next highest bid was 219 on Calvin Austin.
What's going on, dude?
Yeah.
People chasing.
Those are the only. LaQuint Allen for 70.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah. I mean, like, I get the idea. I think I got Elijah Mitchell for like 10 because I had a dead spot. Oh, I picked Emmanuel Wilson. He's dead, apparently. Chris Brooks is the dude.
Two Mules says, in my opinion, the blue, here it comes. The blue bag holders have a great case to file a class action lawsuit against the best ball streamers cabal for false misleading representations of Mr. Blue. Oh, getting worked up over week 1 again.
Pull up the Devon A-Chain rookie year.
We can pull it up. Yeah, I'm not sweating
week 1.
I'm not sweating week 1 with rookies getting a slow start, coming in with a few injuries, banged up, playing for week, and specifically in that format, and pretty much any format too. We got Blue here on our bench, but can't use him yet. But we're playing for week 17. We're playing to win championships, swing for the upside. But I've already admitted, I think Javonte Williams getting that kind of usage. I didn't fully expect that week 1. I thought maybe week 1 would be more of like a split. We saw Miles Sanders have one big play and then fumble directly after that. So maybe he's getting doghoused. I think it was Bindles and I were talking through this. Kind of one of the wrinkles in this whole thing is that the Cowboys are intending, it looks like, to have 3 running backs active each week. One of them has to be Hunter Lepke, the fullback. So now there's only 2 options for true running backs to get game time. And it's just how long does it take for Blue to get in the good graces, back up to full speed, replace Miles Sanders, and then he'll start, having to fight against Javonte Williams, who Hartman has already described earlier in the show, like all volume for Javonte, no efficiency. How long until that wears thin and the touchdowns dry up, and then you want an explosive playmaker in there. So I said this to, who was it last night? I was talking to, it was Creoth was in the chat when Bindles and I were talking about Blue. It was actually Creoth was talking about with Matthew Golden. I told him if Matthew Golden doesn't at least look appealing in week 2, because I think it's a Monday night matchup. No, it's not the Monday night matchup. Obviously, it's the Thursday night matchup. So it's prime time. I said, Creoth, if Matthew Golden looks like completely terrible in this matchup, he does nothing in this primetime matchup Thursday night, I'm going to come back next week with some cope, with a full bottom lip of Copenhagen, for the cope. So that's our little Creoth and I don't know what he's putting up on the line, but that's what I'm putting up on the line. I think Matthew Golden can have a better week in week 2 than he did in week 1.
I don't know. He usually likes to wait till like the last 6 or so to start producing, right? That's kind of his MO.
True. Second half of the season.
But hey, I mean, if he does that, then probably pretty happy you picked him anyway. So
okay, so what it comes down to for our team, back to this, Jaden Higgins or Ollie Gordon or Brian Robinson.
Didn't Ollie Gordon like barely play?
Yeah, or maybe Cam Scattaboo, you were saying.
I mean, Cam Scattaboo barely played. He got like 2 carries and 1 catch, 2 catches. for
Yeah, it's funny.
Scottaboo.
We drafted all of the running backs that are exciting that like didn't get the work, and then you have the unexciting Brian Robinson, who actually 9 times 33 in a reception.
Everyone's out. Everyone is out. I mean, how many targets did Higgins get? Does it say on there? I
He
can
had
look real
3.
quick too. 3 targets. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, it's tough. I mean, we really kind of got screwed on some of these spots
I know.
early. I don't know. I
I
mean,
did see that. Yeah, they got caught from behind. The linebacker was trying to punch the ball out, which is kind of a bad omen for like the very next play where he fumbled. And then they had the whole delay for the whole hour. Devontae finally healthy, and then Turpin and the guys there. Turpin, I mean, I won't even like entertain the Turpin thought. It's just like I'm so far gone from a 150-pound, 29-year-old, gadget player having any relevancy in any fantasy format. But Javonte finally healthy. Yes, he just like still is not efficient. Like it's still a volume play.
it's
It's like D minus Kyron Williams.
Javante is finally 3 years removed from the injury, so he can get you 3.5 yards per carry now. He just gets in the end zone a couple times.
I mean,
It's like
it could be crazy
he
though. Like
wasn't
this,
efficient.
yeah, this it's going to be volatile. If like, I mean, what was his line rushing or total yardage? But like,
He went 15 for 54, and then he had 2 catches for 10.
how did I get to week 2 schedule? I thought I was week 1 here. I'm gonna pull it up, Joe, because like if those touchdowns dry up, and they will eventually, but at the same time, the snapshot of him getting those touchdowns when it matters would be pretty impactful. It's in underdog. It's a touchdown
But
driven
even
format.
in a even in a 2 touchdown game, he can't break 20. Like that's
Bad.
that's so bad when you need 2 touchdowns to even get a high teens. And he almost hit 20 to be fair, but I don't know, like 17 touches, 2 catches, like and 2 touchdowns. I don't know how much better of a run out you're gonna get in a game than that. And if he's not even hitting 20 or barely touching 20, I mean, he was cheap though. So like to be fair, a guy who's getting multiple touchdowns, it works out. But I just don't know if his real upside is like gonna kill you if you didn't really pick him. And I think his role, hopefully, at least for my bags, will diminish as the year goes.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh man, love it. Love the week 1 surprises. But yeah, so that's our lineup. I mean, last thought, and we can always revisit this later, but Higgins, or do we throw in Brian Robinson? What did Trey Harris do? He had 1 target. Yikes.
And he
He's
didn't
just
come until
buried.
later in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 targets for Mitchell. I think touch leader, it's looking
I
like
mean,
Brian Robinson, but
yeah,
he
and
didn't do any.
The Niners might kind of beat the shit out of the Saints. Like, even though they didn't look great last week, they might crush them.
And they might run a ton if they're afraid of Mac Jones.
Yeah. I think B-Rob over Higgins for now.
Placeholder it.
And
Yeah.
then I think though, like that I would lean pretty heavily that we just keep this probably as it is. Um I think the only thing would be switch Keenan with AJ Brown just so our flex goes till the last game on Monday. I
Oh, that's a
mean,
fun thought. Yeah,
just
I didn't even get there yet with the whole strategy of swapping those players. That makes a ton of sense.
yeah. It's just like a habit. I don't know. Just whenever I
No,
look
it's
at my
genius.
lineup, I always put the latest guys in the flex.
Because, worst case scenario, we have to turn to Jaden Higgins over Keenan because Keenan is a surprise, But I guess it's the same position, so it actually doesn't matter at all. But at the same time, no, I like it. I like the vibes of that.
Yeah. We're just like, yeah, just in general. I don't know. But yeah, like
This
in that scenario, it wouldn't really matter.
Yeah, this lineup can pay off. I mean, at the end of the day, let's play the better team with San Francisco than
Mhm.
what we've seen so far to Houston, who's the only team, one of the 3 teams that didn't score a touchdown in week 1. Houston's one of them.
Yeah, well, and I really like the point you made too about like Mac Jones with they might really lean on the
True.
rushing attack.
Yeah,
So, B Rob, I mean, he might get some opportunities in the red zone, maybe, or just a lot more carries in general.
true. Yeah, no, that's part of it. That'll be a big part of it too. What up, Brad McCoy? How we doing, brother? Thanks for stopping in. He's got a question for us. He says, so we got offered Saquon for Jacobs and Wilson. Let's assume it's Garrett Wilson. I think it is.
Yeah.
So your second and third round pick or fourth round pick for Saquon, his first round pick. You have Amon Ross. That's your first round pick. You got Tyreek. You probably got him in the, let's say he's your third round pick. Garrett Wilson's your fourth. You got Tedroy McMillan in the fifth. You got Jennings at receiver, and you're hesitating to get Saquon. I think personally, I mean, Wilson had a good showing. Jacobs has a touchdown streak that's still on fire, and we like what's going on with the Packers and their defense and their ability to have to be able to run the ball to close out games and not having a true RB2 in that offense where Jacobs could just get all of the touches. But at the same time, just start Saquon and then win. Saquon, Amon-Ra, Reek, T-Mac versus Jacobs, Wilson, Amon-Ra, and one of Reek or T-Mac. I'm going to throw this to Hartman because I know where I'm at, but I'm curious to see what Hartman thinks.
I think to me, if it's a start 2 wide receiver league, you consider trading for Saquon, like doing the deal. If you need to start 3 receivers every week, I probably don't do it because I think you'll be too thin. Because I don't think Saquon to Jacobs is like a gigantic leap. But if you're just benching like a high-end receiver every week, like if you're benching Tet or Wilson every week anyway, then Saquon's worth the upgrade. But if you're playing all of them, then you should just keep your guys because I don't think the upgrade's worth losing that lower end like floor / ceiling combo because Wilson can spike as well. I mean, did week 1.
I closed that. I was saying I was closing out of tabs, but I brought this one back in. Let me see if where we're at here. So this is some data that I always looked at this summer. I was going to do it for wide receivers and tight ends and QBs too. I only ever did it for running backs, but running backs matter a lot. I've talked about it before, but this is the scoring from 2024 for the running backs, where here, if we look at Saquon, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit and we'll just focus in on Saquon here because he's kind of the story, and we can compare him straight up with Jacobs.
So yeah, because Jacobs actually looks really good on here too.
Yeah, Jacobs looks great on here, which is why you were saying it's a little step up, but I think you're right on. Perfect. Okay, there's Saquon, there's Jacobs. So the first column is it's ranking based. How many times were they ranked as a top 12 running back across 3 consecutive weeks? So like weeks 1 through 3, weeks 2 through 4, all the way through weeks 15 through 17. I exclude week 18. So 11 out of and there's 15 of those. There's 15 3-game slates throughout the season. 11 of those 15, or 73% of the time, Saquon Barkley ranked a top 12 running back on the week. 10 of those, Jacobs was. Pretty nice. I have a scoring threshold, like what is an RB1 in half-point PPR. I say an RB1 has to score more than 17 points. So 17.1, 17.2, that's my minimum. And I kind of have taken thresholds from different other sources over the years, but I've kind of honed this in since about 2015 is when I started keeping track of like what I consider my scoring thresholds. It used to be RB1 was only 15 and a half. It's kind of gone up actually with more pass catching, and it was Lamar Miller back in the day was one of the guys that was like on the threshold. Who else? It was Devonta. What was his name on the Falcons? Oh gosh, Devonta Freeman. And then also we had Tevin Coleman was under the threshold, but Freeman was above it. Freeman was the RB1 one year. Okay, I digress. Yeah. So above 17 points averaged across a 3-week span. So not just averaging 17 points in one game or hitting 17 points in a game, but averaging 17 or more fantasy points in half-point PPR across a 3-week span. Saquon did it 10 times. Jacobs did it 8 times. So still like really close, but they start to separate a little bit further. And when you're getting into these things, the second column is RB2 threshold, then RB3 threshold. Saquon was never averaging RB3 numbers. Jacobs actually did it twice. So there was 2 stretches where Jacobs kind of had some slow patches, you could say. Then I have the elite flag. The elite flag says you average 20 points or more for 3 consecutive weeks. Saquon is in his own tier. He did it 7 times.
Mhm.
Josh Jacobs did that 5 times, which is actually one of the other better numbers. Derrick Henry did it 6. Gibbs was at 5. Bijan was at 4. Mixon actually did it 6 times. Hartman and I dug into this during the summer. There was one of those slates where he only played 1 game and he scored 30 points. And there's another slate where he played 2 games and one of them was influenced by like a 30-point game. So I would say Mixon's is more of like a 4 to it's more like a 4, but it shows up like a 6 in here just because of some skewing that goes on when you miss games at injury or bye weeks. But essentially what it comes down to is Saquon Barkley, 2/3 of the time across 3 games was scoring 17 or more points, and 47% of the time he was scoring more than 20 points.
Mhm.
Jacobs is a small tier down. It's not actually a huge tier down. 53% of the time he's an RB1 in scoring, and 33% of the time he was elite scoring across 3 weeks. They each played 16 games.
So
We could argue Josh Jacobs has less competition for touches in his backfield, and both have great defenses and should be running the ball out. With Shipley
well,
hurt though, but now there's Tank Bigsby there. Maybe it's not that he's eating into Saquon's touches, but there's like a breather back. For Josh Jacobs' situation, it's more of like they're breathing him, but they don't want to.
Well, it seems to me like maybe Jacob's floor over any given span is a little bit lower, but their ceilings aren't really much different. Maybe Saquon's single game ceiling is different because this is only a 20-point threshold, but
Right.
over any given 3-week span, I don't think their like ceiling is significantly different. Because Jacobs can have even up to 3 touchdown games, right? That's feasible in that offense. Where I think for Saquon, that's actually less feasible because he's not getting as many of the 1-yard carries like Jacobs would be. Um,
The safety net on Jacobs is the touchdown consistency. And then
right.
for Saquon, it's the yardage consistency where he did have a lot of touchdowns, but there's a risk that he can get siphoned by Hurts stealing the green zone touches within 10 yards kind of thing. At the same
Mhm.
time, I think Saquon could regress to like a higher touchdown total than he had last year based on his fantasy
Mm,
points expected, kind of touchdowns expected. Last thing I'll pull up here is weeks 15 to 17. And, what does that matter? But it's kind of the fantasy playoffs. We had Barkley averaging 17.8 per week across those 3 games. You had Jacobs
mhm.
here at 16.4. So they're actually like very similar. And then when you keyed in on like just the week that mattered, week 17, um, we had Barkley coming in at 17.9. Jacobs, right, kind of fell off to 10.9. So that's more of a sampling error type of thing, but it just speaks to like maybe Jacobs' floor is a little bit lower and maybe his ceiling is a little bit lower. But overall, you're going to get decent performance out of Josh Jacobs. And the tier up to Barkley, you could argue, could be worth it just for like the ultimate like ceiling outcome. At the same time, kind of what Hartman was arguing is it depends on how many wide receivers you need to start and if you actually need that depth. If you don't need the depth, go for the best player in the trade. If you need some depth, I don't think Josh Jacobs is like a bad player to kind of plant your flag on for your RB1.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because I think at the end of the day, like any trade, the goal should always be what is my best starting lineup if all of these guys are healthy and none of them are on a bye. Because right, you want to win those playoff weeks. So if like you're taking out Garrett Wilson and you're gonna put in a significantly lower tier player and he's a starter, then I think the downgrade wouldn't be worth it. But if you're rotating the bench guys, then that ultimate player is what you want, right? You just want the best lineup.
So 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. I think just risk it. Go for Saquon is kind of what we're saying in that
Yeah,
situation. I didn't see this
yeah,
until just now, but I could have seen it. Yo, what's
yeah.
up,
No, I agree.
Shazuto? Appreciate you jumping in, brother. Sick profile picture too. Got a ninja going on there.
Mm.
Um, hope you're having a good Wednesday night. Thanks for the question. Dynasty Superflex. So he got offered. All of a sudden, we've been answering more trade questions than sit and starts, but I love it. People are like, hyped up about trades right now. And the week 2 is always a
Yeah.
great week for trades because people are panicking, they're overreacting, they're trying to compensate for week 1. I've always found that week 2 can be one of the best weeks to trade, whether it's your redraft or even in dynasty, because people are trying to figure out whether they're tanking or if they're going for the win. Week 2 is kind of a nice time where everyone's still super engaged.
When in redraft, everyone still feels like they're in it. So they're, like sometimes by like week 6, if you're like 0-5, some people kind of they'll do waivers and stuff, but
Walk
they're not
out.
really, yeah, they're not doing a bunch of trades and talking deals and stuff. They don't really care,
Hell yeah. So I got offered that I trade my Terry and my Dart 26 first. Okay, so I got to stop you there. And I don't even know what's coming next because I haven't looked ahead. We're not trading 26 first. That's Bindles no. Number 1. Bindles, the Dynasty
Yeah.
Mind. One of my co-hosts on our weekly Ballsy show. And he also has a free Discord you can jump into. If you find Bindles information below, you can go and he's got his links to hit on his socials. He got links to his Discord, a free Dynasty Discord. Also, all other kind of football talk too. But he has free tiers and rankings in Dynasty that are actually really savvy. And they'll say like, oh, this player's worth 1.5 first round picks. This player's worth 2 future seconds. Like he tiers it out in a very easy to understand way. And so I found it really useful. But like his golden rule is like you don't trade your first unless you're getting way more in return than what you should be getting. But let's continue. For Tillman, Penix Jr. and a 26th third. So like it's super flex. Yes, you'd want Penix, but the Penix Dart difference is like that should almost equal out. And
Yeah,
then
this trade's not close.
not close. You can't give up a first. Even if you have Daniels and Russell Wilson right now, you can roll with those guys. Because as soon as Russell Wilson's out, you got Dart in, but maybe you're worried about like the bye weeks. Daniels has the week 11 bye, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, week 11, so you're pretty good for a while, and then the Giants week 14, so you're definitely set for there. Wide receivers, you've got CD Agbuka, St. Brown, Pearsall, Cup, Terry. So what I would try to do is, and it's really tough, but if you're trying to angle to get a quarterback is what you're thinking, because it seems like you're interested in a third QB for this team. Don't trade the picks, but angle it in a way where you can get rid of one of, and it's hard to get rid of Cup. Terry, some people are more in on, but you might be able to move him. I wouldn't want to move CD Agbuka or St. Brown or really Pearsall. I'd want that to be my future core. I would try to angle it in a way where you could possibly trade Terry in some, I see, then you can't get there because Terry alone's not going to be worth any QB. So it's like, how do you
You trade Terry and a pick, or like what about like
Terry in a
Terry and
second?
like, yeah, or like maybe even like 2 seconds for Penix. I don't know if that's. I'm not
Yeah,
very good
I don't
with
think it's getting
the
there.
pick dynasty. Well, because Penix would be worth a lot, right? But that's probably not
Well,
worth.
he was
Penix,
worth a
right?
first when he was getting drafted, and now his price has gone up because like people have seen what he can do, and like he's got a good offense. So I'd have to
Would you
consult
give?
the rankings myself, but I'd venture out, and I can look at him right now, but I'd venture out to say Penix is worth more than just one first.
Do you think Terry and a first is fair for Penix straight up?
I just wouldn't do it because like what, like why are you giving up a future first that could be the next Jaden Daniels for Penix at this time right now? Like what do you need Penix for?
Yeah, because he has both Giants QBs. You're only really in trouble if Jameis starts, so and that'll probably be short lived even if he does.
Go pick up
So
Jameis right now and just cover all your bases. But I think just the golden rule, like keep your first, try to angle this another way. Maybe you say, you know what, I've got a bunch of receivers and that's kind of my strength in my team. But is there something else I could do to package and tear down from like a St. Brown? Could I do St. Brown and Terry and then you get back a quarterback plus a up and coming receiver, like maybe someone slightly better than Tillman, but like that kind of angle where it's like you're essentially trading like a St. Brown for a good quarterback that's worth it, that's also
what
going to start for like the foreseeable future, like a locked in guy. And then you're just tearing down at receiver a little bit. But like also why? You got two, but
what if you tried to trade like a Terry for like a Gino or something, like someone kind of
That's
older,
interesting.
but like maybe you
Might be
feel a
hard to
little bit
do.
more comfortable week to week with them than you do with Russ, or
You
like
might
the
be able to
rookie when you start,
like spiced up Terry plus something.
like a third, because
Yeah,
thirds
I mean,
are
I
kind
hate
of
trading picks in
worthless.
general, but like a
But
Terry
isn't
plus
it by the
if you really
third
need
like you're
to
kind of
beat.
scamming by giving people those? Like by the third round, you're kind of like fooling them by giving them thirds because those are like just kind of
Well, I
trash
mean,
picks.
some people don't value picks as much depending on where they're at in their season, but like for me, a third round pick last year was Bucky Irving. So like you just don't want to give up the option.
Yeah, but I mean, if you like see Bucky Irving, you can probably get someone third for like pretty cheap. And you're like,
Yeah,
I'll
that was
just
2
go
years
in,
ago.
I'll just trade for it and then pick Bucky Irving. I don't know. I get like it does make sense. There's hits there. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of misses though too in that range.
It Dynasty's so nuanced too. It's like how's the league going? What's there's a lot of factors, but I would just say try to work something out that's a little bit either simpler or like without you giving up the first.
Mm-hmm.
And check out Bindle's Discord. Shout out to Bindle's Discord. I like Garrett Wilson, but consolidating talent to get one better guy, usually a good strategy. Oh, yeah. Billy's talking about the Saquon and Jacobs thing. So we're on the same wavelength there. So Brad, Hartman and I are like Ted Roy McMillan fan club #1. If you weren't here for earlier, like super in on T Mac. He can do it all. So I mean, starting him every week, it's only going to get better as time goes on. The Panthers, Bryce Young didn't look great week 1, but I think there's better days ahead.
Yeah, well, and I mean, T Mac still looks solid. He got good volume. You know, usage looks good, roll looks good. So I'd be happy starting to moving forward.
Yeah, and then it like if you also the idea of like Tyreek, I think could be fine. Some people are starting to worry though, but his vibes have been bad. But
His volume, especially in the red zone, should be okay. He did get all pissed and throw a fit on the sideline last game, but I mean, I guess also the alleged domestic violence. I don't know if you've seen that, but he's
I did.
investigated again. So yeah, I mean, classic Tyreek shit. What are you gonna do? He does this. He does this every year, pretty much. So
Also true. Very
I don't know.
concerning. So not good for the vibes, but
Yeah, hopefully, you
um
can get a couple tuggers. That'd be nice.
Hotlanta rise up. Yo, what's up? PB and Jelly. How you doing, brother? Got the fields in the Abbey. The old school fields too.
Oh yeah, 3 teams ago.
Love it. Hartman, what do you say we rip one of these underdog tournaments for this week?
Yeah, that sounds good. What do you want to do?
I mean, because some of them they all go so fast, but like I was big braining. I think you might have been hearing some of it. I was kind of big braining what would it be like to get in this primetime palooza. What do you say we try one of these, and then also we can it'll go fast, but we can see if I've got the best ball overlay for the BRs downloaded and set up. I just have not used it
Oh,
yet. And
nice.
so I think once I enter one, it'll pop up and we can make sure that it's not just the normal one. But even if it is the normal one, we could just kind of filter it to the week 2. But so what I was reviewing earlier was the matchups here, right? And so my too long didn't read. Like my synopsis is, although the Washington at Green Bay game on Thursday night has a 48.5 over under with a Green Bay minus 3.5, although that based on Green Bay's defense and the way they played against a low scoring game against the Lions in week 1 at home, I think this could be like an easy take the under kind of game, but I wouldn't necessarily I don't know if the Packers are the team I'd bet on. I might bet on Washington and the under. And so that's something to consider for game environment. And then in the same light, looking at Atlanta at Minnesota, London could be out. Mooney should be out. And Minnesota had a slow start until the fourth quarter against the Bears. So that could potentially be a low scoring game as well, but it might still be a higher scoring game than this one if we think these defenses are truly holding it down. Although we like the offensive talent maybe more in this one. So that's the environment too long, synopsis that I was talking about earlier, giving the short version. And then the last thought I had is how many elite players are in these two games, in these four teams. You've got Jaden Daniels is essentially the 101 in my mind. Unless you're going to, because there's four teams, right? And then there's four quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels is the 101. He could break the slate. If you're going to fade QB, just take whoever's the last QB available, unless you have like a direct stack to line up before then. Otherwise, the other elite talent is Bajan, Justin Jefferson, and Josh Jacobs. Outside of that, the only other player that could potentially break the slate is probably going to be Jordan Mason, I would think. Maybe
yeah.
Debo. Maybe Debo.
Yeah. Bill
Maybe
Merritt.
Bill. Yeah, maybe Bill. I don't want to count Bill out. He didn't got as much volume as these other guys I already mentioned.
Yeah. No, I pretty much agree with you. I think Debo has a chance because like there might be a lot of short passing in the Washington offense with like how good Green Bay's pass rush is. But yeah, like the clear elites are obviously Jaden, Bijan, Jefferson, and I think Jacobs is even a little bit of a like step down from those guys. But he's closer to their tier than the next year, but I think he's clearly fourth out of the four,
Jacobs is?
Jacobs, yeah.
So
Now his matchups nicer than Bijan's, right? That's kind of and Bijan has no receivers. So
do you
maybe
think
Jacobs would go over? Sorry. Go ahead.
No. I would say, do you think Jaden Daniels is the 101 in this format, or are you more of a just take the last possible QB?
I'd probably rather get the last QB. If I did volume, I'd want some Jaden, obviously, because he could just be the guy you need. But JJ McCarthy against Atlanta, I like that a lot. And I even like Jordan Love too. I'm not a big fan of the Penix spot because all the receivers are hurt. Minnesota's defense looks great. So I think because I like him so much less, and because all the receivers are hurt, I would maybe try to get JJ or Love instead of waiting for the fourth. Where normally I agree with you, I would wait for the fourth, but I think he's
You think
a
Penix goes
tier
4?
lower. I think if London's leaning towards out, he definitely should.
That makes
because
sense.
that's no one to even really stack that well. And like you just project more run heavy, less pass volume, right? Like if
Yes.
those guys are out, they have to do that. It might be Algier gets more work than normal because him and Bijan are both getting a ton, right?
So it's a 1-2-1-1-1 type of build. That's of course that's 6 rounds, right? 4 teams, that's 24 players. I don't know if this applies to the primetime Palooza, but the whole theory that Nez talks about often with these BRs is the 1-1-3-1 build being kind of elite. Where you just have to take the best running back that's going to be the best running back that week, and then the receivers you have a little bit more leeway because you might not need to hit you have to hit 2 out of the 3, but maybe the third is replaceable kind of thing. Tight end maybe replaceable too is kind of how I think about it, especially with these teams where the tight ends all seem very similar: Hawkinson, Kraft, Ertz, and Pitts. In any given 1 week sample, I probably still want Hawkinson the most, but is it that different to go to Kraft or current of what we're seeing of Pitts with less target competition, or even Ertz, who could just like have a 10 target game and be the number 1 receiver for a week with Jaden Daniels? No, to me, those are all, I would probably say punt tight end in this situation. And that's where I was kind of thinking maybe Jaden Daniels could be argued the 101, where it's just like, or maybe you just say Bijan and Justin Jefferson first and then Jaden Daniels. But he's like the top QB because the differentiation at tight end is not great enough,
Well, yeah, there's no tight end worth there's no tight end worth reaching for at all for sure. But
Right.
the 1-1-3-1 thing that you were saying. So is that specifically for the primetime Palooza slates?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, because in normal BRs, that would seem really weird. Because like in those, you almost always want to flex an RB, especially on underdog. Like, because like RBs in the flex on the BRs, like eight. Steve has an article about it, and I always get the number wrong, but it's like more than 70% of the time, RBs were in the winning flex for the BRs. But that's just the main BR. I wonder if on Primetime Palooza, since it's not as deep, if you want to flex a receiver more often. I was
I
just
wonder
curious.
that
I'm not sure.
too. It might just come down to the scarcity or of like, oh, by the time you're circling back to your RB2, everyone else already has an RB1 or RB2. So then you're taking like a true team's RB2 who might not get enough touches, like a Tyler Algier, versus the trade off of getting a wide receiver 3 that could still be a guy who plays 70% of snaps.
Well, because like something I would think about is like if we were the fourth pick, we could start like double RB. We could get like Jacobs and then like
Situational.
know,
Yeah.
yeah.
That then I would
But
be
yeah,
in.
it depends
Like
on
Jacobs
pick.
and Bill or something, or Jacobs and Mason.
Yeah, one of those two. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Because then you
But
just like
it
cover. You
would
feel like,
depend what
okay,
pick
these
number you
running
have.
backs break the slate, and then I'll play catch up at wide receiver and take what's available. Um,
Mm,
because I mean, so I guess if you had to raw rank the top 8 players in this kind of, and I'm
wow.
sure it's a lot of there's like because in these small drafts, a lot can change. Like what we saw in the rookies and sophomores. Sometimes Bucky would fall, sometimes he wouldn't. So like a lot can change in these drafts if you're doing any volume around the primetime Palooza. But if you're like the raw rank in your head, just shout out, and I'll correct you if you like forget any players that I can think of. But like let's just see like what would we think is like the top 8 players in this format of these 2 games.
Okay. So are we assuming Drake London's out? Are
Should
we
we?
calling
Because
Drake
I haven't
London
seen
out?
anything. Have you seen anything? I think he's trending out.
I think, but I think he's like a true questionable, like from what I'm seeing. Because I don't think he's like
Yeah.
doubtful yet or anything, but it sounds like he'll probably be out, but it sounds really questionable, right? I
Yeah.
haven't followed much Drake
Can
London
we
news.
check
I
my
do
coach
not
speak
own
real
Drake
quick?
London.
Because yeah, I was kind of counting him out, but he's obviously like an elite piece if he's active. But then do you want to play like a half injured Drake London? Let me check the coach
But
speak
it's
Discord real quick because I thought I read something earlier about the Falcons in the comment on the health of both Mooney and
uh
London. So Drake
someone
London
in
and Darnell
the
Mooney will be practicing today. That was
yeah.
halfway through today. We'll see if Mooney plays this week. I expect London to play this week. Raheem Morris, who has a 75% reliability rating on injury coach speak.
Oh,
That's not
okay.
saying that he will, but when you ask me, of course, I expect him to play. He's the ultimate tough guy, and when he says he's going to go to practice, that usually tells you a lot. I It's hard to say whether London is further along than Mooney.
Hmm. So
I don't know.
I guess we call him in. I guess we call him in for the moment. If he's practicing today and they're saying he'll probably
He
play.
was expected to practice. Did he actually practice? Do we have any intel if he
I mean,
actually practiced?
someone in the chat said he practiced today, but they might have read the same thing you did. So I
Oh,
don't
sweet.
know.
Yeah, I saw Ty's for. Yo, what up, Ty? AJ Brown or Igbuka rest of season? Oh, coming out with fire. I mean, AJ Brown, but at the same time, it's looking like a slow start because the hammy, the injured preseason. But I mean, you can't. AJ Brown he is like an elite talent, and he's in one of the best offenses. Slow start. Let's hope. Igbuka, we're optimistic, but Igbuka's ceiling case is like AJ Brown, who already is there.
Yeah, AJ Brown is easily a top 5 receiver in real life in the NFL. He doesn't have the volume, but even then he's still top 10 easily. So, slow start, but AJ Brown's still AJ Brown. Amika looks like he's gonna be great, but
Yeah, I'm
you know,
excited for Amika. We're weighing on Amika too. So let's say London's in, but he's 80% or 85%, so a little dock. So
uh,
let's draft it as if Mooney's still out, but London's in.
all right. So the games are okay. So I think for me, well, okay, like 101, I kind of feel like it's Jefferson. I feel like I'd go by ADP to be honest with you, but like if I'm just raw ranking it, just haven't done a single one of these, haven't looked at it. Jefferson, Jaden Daniels, Bijan, Josh Jacobs, Jefferson, Jaden Daniels, Bijan, Josh Jacobs.
Jefferson ahead of Bajan with what we just saw with McCarthy barely getting Jefferson relevant in the fourth quarter, and Bajan having like a pretty exciting week one where he was like their offense.
Yeah, if the receivers are hurt and the Vikings D line is nasty, I think they're
It
just
is
gonna key on. I just think they're gonna key in on Bajan. Like, I think he'll be fine. I don't think he's a bad play, but like, give me Jefferson against Washington, or not against Washington, against Atlanta. Like Atlanta's pass defense kind of sucks, right? I mean, I'll take like the arguable best receiver in the league against them. He might go for 200. Probably not with JJ, but still. I think Jefferson, is only hard to take him at one because receiver's obviously always going to be the deepest position.
Mm.
So it's hard. That's the only thing that makes it hard because running back's so much thinner. But I really do think Jefferson could kind of. I think Jefferson has the best chance to be the slate breaker
Okay.
out of any of them because I think Jaden and Bajan have bad matchups.
And
And
then
I think
Bajan is like not necessarily the most impressive elite ceiling guy. He's actually like more of like a super
make it
high floor
consistent,
guy. Yeah, yeah.
right?
Um, okay, sorry to interrupt you. So you're thinking Jefferson, Daniels, Bajan, and then Jacobs?
Jacobs for sure. And then after that, it gets really hard. I think for me, it would be. I mean, is it Jordan Mason maybe, or is it
Or is it Bill?
like
Or is it
Gold?
London?
Well, okay. If London's playing, it's London is fifth for
Okay,
sure.
I'm in.
No doubt about that one. And then that would be it for the Falcons. And then for the Commanders, Terry's probably next. Well, I guess you gotta move running backs up because I'm doing like highest projected points, but like if you're moving the running backs up, it's probably got to go like Jordan Mason or Aaron Jones next. Probably Mason because he got more work. Then maybe Terry just because he's a pretty high upside receiver, and then probably like Bill after him just because you don't know what his workload will be like. But
Yeah.
he'll get some. It's a really bad matchup though. I might even go Debo, but I mean Debo will probably go later than I'm thinking. I'm a Debo
Right.
bull, so.
Yeah, no, I'm following you. I'm in.
That's my rough. How about you? How about
No,
I mean
I'm
that's
pretty close.
that
I'm
was
pretty
rough.
close to that. The more I think about the matchup for Bill, I want to go the receivers there a little bit more.
Mhm.
Um, and then my other thought would be where does where do you start to tackle um the Packers receivers? And those are like late options, like just pick one, or is there like a true preference between Reed and Golden or Dobbs? And then the last thing I consider is, and this is a totally different um, part of this game theory, but skinny stacks only. And is it one skill position player per team? Or like if you got Bajan London, would you take it?
If I got Bajan London when I take it. Kind of depends who's on the board. If I thought I would lean against it if I didn't think
Me
I was
too.
giving up a ton of projection.
Yeah, it's cannibalizes
Yeah.
each other's pick. So like I think you almost can't take two players on the same team with your top like three picks.
I think because it's so few games, I think you could do it if there was like two pass catchers. Like especially if you did a tight end and a receiver. Like let's say you went like Jefferson and Hawk. I think maybe then because the tight end scoring ceiling is lower, so you could still have like the best tight end and the best receiver.
Yeah,
But
I'm
like
in.
two receivers or receiver RB, I don't really see it unless it's like your last pick is on the same team or whatever. Then you're kind of hoping for any points out of them almost.
I think it's negatively correlated in a single game action. And then what was I saying about I guess priority stacks per each quarterback. You're thinking Jaden Daniels goes best with Terry, followed by Debo.
Other way
Last
around, but
ditch
yeah.
would be Ertz, or Eckler even.
I think with Eckler's fine. I mean, I'm probably gonna lean mostly if I do any of these to like Debo stacks. But Terry will be the higher ADP player. He's gonna be but I would rather just I don't know. I think Debo fits the Packers thesis better because their pass rush is going to be so good. It's
Mhm.
hard to see Terry getting really any like moonshots or anything. Maybe he connects on one. He could be the slate breaker, like for sure. So I wouldn't fade him, but I feel like Debo's skill set works better against the Packers than Terry would. At least
Okay, yeah,
to how I would think about it. I don't know.
I'm interested. Obviously, it's JJ McCarthy to Justin
Jefferson.
Jefferson. You could get there with Aaron Jones, but I kind of want to fade that. And then
Mhm.
I think Thielen would be like a last round throw in who probably goes mostly undrafted. So you don't have to go there, but if you didn't have Justin Jefferson, I could see Thielen being like a wide receiver 3 that has touchdown upside.
I
Um,
I bet Thielen gets drafted almost every time, right?
oh,
Because
maybe I have
it's
to think more about it because like the size of like the
four four
20
teams. You each
24
got to pick at
players.
least two. Well, four
So
teams, so you got to pick at least 8 receivers total,
we're
right?
assuming 12 receivers get drafted, or no, not 12. It'd be between 8 and 10
8 to 12.
to 12
Well,
max, right?
yeah, 8 to 12 would be the range, right?
Right,
So,
right. So let's
but if
assume
you're
10. Is Thielen a top 10 receiver? You could argue there's ahead of him 3 Packers receivers, 2 Commanders, probably just the one on the Falcons, and then one on his own team. So that's like 7. So I guess you could argue that yeah, Thielen probably gets drafted about 60-70% of the time.
well, when I feel like 3 on the Packers above them, that's also even debatable, right? Because
Yeah, I think
like
it just comes down to if you take Justin Jefferson, you're not taking Thielen, and then so then if which teams are like could even take Thielen?
the Golden or the Reed team, right? Or the
Yeah,
London team. Well, any team except Jefferson, pretty much. Any of
yeah.
the other 3. And they
If I
can't
drafted Aaron
take
Jones, I don't think I would want
the
Thielen.
Packer. Yeah, I guess probably. But I mean, but you don't want Thielen, but who are you gonna pick if he's the arguable 8th? Who is he arguing with? Like
Ray Ray
Jalen
McLeod.
Lane? Oh, Ray, yeah. Ray the GOAT. Ray over Romeo Dobbs though. Easy money.
But Dobbs
No.
is also, no, Dobbs didn't score a touchdown in week 1, did he?
No, I think
Damn.
Dontavian Wicks and Jaden Reed did.
That means that
The
Garrett
GOAT.
Wilson officially has replaced Dobbs as the leading touchdown receiver from their class.
Oh, nice.
It was it
That's
was tied
crazy.
Dobbs and Wilson, I think, and I think now I guess it's Wilson ahead.
Wow. That's crazy. It
Maybe I'm
was
misremembering.
Dobbs.
Maybe I'm misrepresenting that. But people in the chat were saying all summer like trivia: which receiver from this class has the most touchdowns? It's Dobbs. But he goes pick 150 ADP, and Garrett Wilson's top 35.
Yeah, people love making comparisons with Garrett Wilson. People love. Why would you pick this Ohio State wide receiver with the same yards per route run as this one who goes in the 6th round? And it's like Olave and Garrett Wilson.
Olave.
And then MHJ too. He's like the bad part too.
Yeah, I mean, he got a touchdown. He got a touchdown. So Adrian was saying he made a crazy trade. We'll catch up to that. Ty was saying he traded Egbuka, Henry, Derrick Henry, and Jordan
Dang.
Mason for AJ Brown and Taylor. I don't know, my guy. I guess the 1-to-1 Henry beats Taylor. 1-to-1 AJ Brown beats Egbuka. I kind of like to throw in Jordan Mason as a flex there, though. I don't know how I feel about that trade. I feel like you might not want to get rid of Henry in our current, universe that we're living in based on the week 1 production.
Yeah, I mean, I think you lost a little bit of value overall, but if your receivers like if that made you a lot stronger at like your wide receiver 1 spot or 2 spot, I think it's okay. Like JT's not a big drop off from Henry, but Derrick Henry's, still looking like the king. So always kind of scared to trade him away.
Yeah, we like Jonathan Taylor though too, and the
Yeah.
Colts are looking like they're moving the ball, so that's good. Traded Neighbors and Pollard because they made me mad. Oh God, Adrian, no. For Marv, Sutton, and Aaron, no. We're big
Undue.
team Neighbors and Pollard here.
Yeah, I mean, because Pollard got like crazy usage, right? I know he didn't do shit,
Yes.
but like still, and like, I mean, Neighbors, he has the injuries and stuff, which is a little scary. But I mean,
Bro,
you trade
Neighbors is
away
the
like
GOAT.
your top dog for, some like a fourth rounder, like a fifth rounder, and like a sixth rounder, like for your probably first or second round pick. Yeah, and Pollard, I like Pollard more
Thanks
than
for
Aaron
sharing. But,
Jones.
who knows?
Yeah.
It could work out for you. But I would think I want Neighbors in this trade. Best player. Marv looked pretty good week 1, scored. So Sutton doesn't look
That's true.
bad. Aaron Jones did score, but we're pretty big into fading Aaron Jones and in favor of Mason, I would say. But yeah, man, having a great night. Hope you're having a good night as well. Thanks for jumping in. Good to see you in the chat. Get Charles Nelson in here with goated Philip Rivers face. Good stuff. Good stuff. Who Hames? What's up, brother? We were just like vamping there about getting into this primetime palooza. Who Hames, have you drafted any primetime palooza particularly? Actually, earlier we were talking a lot about the second quarter. We're pretty interested in that one as well, and like big braining that and the whole like week 8 bye theory. Who Hames, let me know your ideas around the second quarter. I still need to catch up with. I think you were drafting some of those when I stopped in earlier. It's up top 5. Start 1 for wide receiver 2, Marvin Harrison Jr., Egbuka, or Debo. This week, you got Debo against the Packers on Thursday Night Football. That's kind of tough. Egbuka against the Texans, Monday Night Football. That's kind of tough. I still haven't heard about Stingley yet and what's going on there. He was kind of banged up. And then Marvin Harrison Jr., aren't the Cardinals playing the Panthers?
The Panthers,
So
yeah.
that's kind of a smash spot. Talent and gut would tell me to think to start either Marvin Harrison or Debo.
I would probably start Marvin Harrison and Debo.
Yeah,
I would
can you
bench
start both of them? Who
Egbuka.
else do you have in this lineup?
Oh no, start 1. Oh, I thought it was 2 out of the 3. My bad.
And you got Brees on the
start
flex,
MHJ.
like loaded there.
Yeah.
No, this is
I
good.
think MHJ, my bad.
Go with Marvin Harrison, right?
Yeah, I think him and Debo both. I mean, any of the 3 are good. You're kind of loaded at receiver, but
You're loaded.
MHJ has like a super soft matchup. That's the reason to lean him. Other 2 are pretty tough. Oh yeah, Williams was right. It was Kraft, not Wicks.
Oh yeah. It was Kraft. I remember seeing that. I was actually watching the highlights earlier today, feeding a bottle to the baby boy. Shipped Henry in my dynasty league for a first. Damn, son. But don't you know that Derrick Henry's going to play for like another decade? So hope that first is worth it. No, I'm just kidding. Dude, Derrick Henry is looking immortal, isn't he? Like he's just like, you guys have not found the fountain of youth yet. Like you guys just aren't training right. Like, dude, this guy. I remember when Henry came into the league and I had him in his rookie season, and he was splitting work on the Titans with
Dion Lewis.
What's up?
Dion Lewis, right? Or was it Sankey? Bishop Sankey still?
No. DeMarco Murray.
Oh, right. That was his right. And then it was like Dion Lewis on that contract after. That's right.
Pretty sure. Right. I know memory.
That's when Henry took over. No, you're right. Because DeMarco went there after the Eagles. And then that was Henry's rookie year.
So Adrian says he traded his Neighbors, but he still has Nico and Egbuka. So he started with Nico and Neighbors. It makes it a little bit better that you still have Nico, but I don't know. Exotic lore. What's up, brother? Thanks for stopping by. Let's see what we got. Dude, the trade questions are off the charts tonight. I was expecting more sit start, but like people are like, nah, fuck it. We know who to sit start. Give us the trade advice, which I love.
Don't worry about sit start Sunday morning.
Yeah, most people. Maybe this is going forward. Maybe we talk more like trades, but people are pretty active. I mean, we were both saying it. Week 2 is like the most active week for trades among the entire season, essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
And that in the week right before the first buys, like week 5 will be. Well, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of teams on week 6 buy this year, so maybe it'd be like week 7, right before the week 8 buy. People will be really interested in trading.
Yeah, and just kind of we'll see. Like there haven't really been any big injuries so far, other than like Kittle for like longer term. Kittle and Purdy, right? They're kind of the only longer term injuries right now, at least that I can think of.
Yeah,
There really aren't many right
Xavier
now.
Worthy.
Like, oh right, but he's gonna. Didn't they say he's gonna play apparently with like a brace or something? That was the rumor I saw. I don't know if it was true. Maybe that was some Twitter nonsense.
Bro, dude is dead practically. I don't know. We'll see. Trade Lad McConkey for Kyron Williams, half PPR. I don't think I'd want to do that.
No.
RB1 is Chase Brown. Or we choose Kamara. No,
No.
just
I mean, unless
roll
you
with
have
what
like
you got.
goated receivers. Unless you have
Yeah,
like CD Lamb and AJ Brown, or I don't know. AJ Brown sucks, but like CD Lamb and someone good. Not
we're
AJ
big
Brown.
Lad McConkey fans, and I think Herbert 5,000-yard passing season unlocked and up and coming. So like, you want a piece of that? We think.
Well, and your running backs are really good.
Yeah.
So like unless your receivers are better, then probably not.
Yeah, Who Hames was earlier on his channel. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Who Hames as well. He went live earlier today, and he was thinking about max 1 bye week 8 and max 1 non QB for any other bye 5, 6, 7. That's kind of where we ended up, where we were thinking Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen don't lose any value as long as you go 3 QB and you cover week 7. But then you really can't spend any draft capital on week 8 because you'll never win.
Yeah. I think the only I guess the only thing I can see like spending capital on week 8 maybe would be like in a more punt tight end or just getting later tight ends. If you're like, I'm gonna touchdown hunt with this guy and I got him in like the 16th round, he has a week 8 bye. I think like that's fine
That's
if
no draft capital. So then you're good. Like if you
right,
take
like late, right? And we already talked right, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I would say anything after round 12 or 13 is fair game, even if they have a week 8 bye, just because they might not even hit your lineup anyways in week 8 if they were playing.
Right, right.
The Schmitty, what's up, brother? How we doing tonight? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Myers, Javonte Williams, the week 1 GOAT, or Montgomery for the flex? Ooh, a true sit start question just after we were cooking with all these trades. You love it. Okay, so and then you got some follow-ups. Johnny or Jawan Johnson, love it. JJ McCarthy or Danny Jones. And that's the context we get. I scrolled down. We don't get any more context, but assuming half-point PPR, assuming the kind of depth of your league based on these players you're flexing, which seems appropriate for a flex, man, Javonte Williams or Montgomery is where I'm at, and the Cowboys get a nice matchup against New York at home versus the Lions with Chicago at home. Although we did just see Jordan Mason kind of gash the Chicago defense for some nice runs, and Montgomery to me is in a similar way. The problem that I've got with Montgomery is he's still getting a lot more limited opportunities than Javonte's going to have, where Javonte just like is that guy right now. So until further notice, for week 2, I'm a slight lean to Javonte Williams, but my heart says Montgomery, but my brain is saying Javonte.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much the same. I maybe let the Lions homer be a slight lean towards Montgomery, but I think either way we both agree Myers is clearly the third option.
Yeah.
Like he's the worst of the 3. The 2 running backs are very close, I think.
And then Johnny or Juwan Johnson, I would probably go with Juwan, and let's just see how long we can ride this hype train. Johnny didn't look bad either. He just has more competition for targets.
Yeah, Jonnu looked fine, but it was a big passing game for Rodgers, and Jawan got like 10 or 11 targets, something crazy. Jawan's target volume right now with Rattler is crazy, so you got to keep playing him.
Yeah, if Rattler and Jawan is the connection this year, and Rattler's going to throw it 45 times a game, which I mean Aaron Rodgers did too essentially, but
Mhm.
I think it was Ray GQ put out on his Twitter his week 1 data, some what he calls his Trinity score, and where he had Juwan Johnson falling on his chart was essentially in the elite tier of pass catchers, not even tight ends. Like among all pass catchers, Juwan Johnson's like one of the most elite target earners to start the season. So like I want to chase that.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, well,
probably
and I think with the Kellen Moore offense, that's always gonna lean more pass heavy and a little bit higher rate of play, even if the quarterback play is bad. I think the volume is just gonna be there every week.
they are going to be at home, which might be helpful. I'm considering in my own home league, half point PPR, starting Juwan Johnson, who I just picked up over Travis Kelsey in week 2, who they're playing the Eagles, which is not like a super exciting matchup considering they just snuffed out Kelsey in the Super Bowl. But
Mhm.
didn't they? Or did he actually? He didn't do a whole lot in Super Bowl, did he?
I don't think so. Didn't everyone just say he was Washington? Man, I
Uh,
think in the Super Bowl he had like a pretty rough game. I just remember all the highlights where he wasn't really putting in any effort, like on blocks and stuff.
I'm pulling it up real quick on my
I'm
I'm using
looking
AI to
too
pull
real
it up real
quick.
quick. It's probably going to give me a wrong answer, but I said, what was Travis Kelsey's stat line in the last Super Bowl? 6 for 39 and 0 touchdowns. That's exactly what I remembered it being.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds. Let's see, I'm on ESPN. Well, it's 6 targets, but 4 catches for 39.
Okay, see, AI fails again. The humans will
Yeah,
prevail. The computers are not here to take over just yet. We've got at least one more year.
yeah.
So
But yeah, I don't know, he's just such a shell of his former self. I think right now he's a decent play because everyone's hurt, but once Rice is back and even when Hollywood's kind of taking that role from him, yeah, I think 2 years ago, Kelsey maybe gets washed by like a player like Rice, but not a player like Hollywood. And now he's slipped enough where even Hollywood's kind of better at that role than he is.
for my own sake, and that's I got you here live. Half one PPR home league. Would you start Travis Kelsey, Juwan Johnson, or Harold Fannin Jr. in week 2?
Harold Fannin, you're throwing a wrench. No, I think I lean Jawan. I feel like the target volume's just so safe. Harold Fannin, it looks so promising, but I think in a home league, I want to wait a little bit. You know, there's still going to be a pretty bad offense, even if he's getting some volume. The Saints are too, but I think I feel more confident that Juwan's volume repeats or at least close to, where fans
Right.
might be a little bit more streaky week to week.
JJ McCarthy or Daniel Jones, man,
Giants
that
have a
is
tough
actually a
matchup,
tougher one.
right?
Let's look at the matchups real quick. So we know JJ McCarthy
Yeah.
is facing off in one of these primetime games against Atlanta and then at home. And similarly, we have Daniel Jones at home, Danny Dimes, but he's playing Denver. Give me JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, JJ McCarthy, easy. I mean, Denver defense is the worst matchup you can possibly get. And Atlanta defense should be a plus matchup, if anything.
Yeah, who Hames? I agree with you. If you can get a first, that's sick. I was just joking because like I've been fading Henry for
Oh,
like
yeah.
3 years.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. I'll
Oh,
try
for
to jump
sure.
in at some point, but you know me with the kids and all. Usually, anytime they're awake, I can't really do anything, and they're But I'd love to. We'll see if we can make it work. There'll be bound to be a weekend where I can make it work, so that'll be fun. I'll give you a pop in notice at some point. We'll be at like my in-laws and like my mother-in-law will like have the kids with her doing something, and I'll be free randomly, and I'll pop in from my cell phone in the backyard, like, "What's up?"
Or that's what you do if you're with the in-laws. You're like, oh, I had a meeting, I have a video call. I gotta do real
They're like,
quick.
"How
And
come you're
then
taking a work call on Sundays, and why are you wearing sunglasses and a backwards hat, you fool?"
yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I did a stream from well, never mind. I'll tell you about that later. Okay, we're about to draft this primetime palooza, but we gotta get through these questions. 0.5 PPR. Eventually, week like 13 or week 12. I don't know. People stop caring as much at like week 12, but like week 17, in the depths of it, in the throes of it, we'll have to make it like a super chat per like Q&A so that we can actually draft some teams.
well, and like you can kind of just skim them too. Like this guy's team, he's just asking if he should make any moves. Nothing in particular. Like, should he be worried about Bo Nix? I don't really think so. I think
like
it's
Bo
just a
Nix.
light week.
Yeah.
And then your team looks really solid.
I like it.
I would just say you have a really deep wide receiver room. If you can consolidate like 2 of them for a star receiver, I would try to do that. Or if you can move like a receiver in like ETN or Tootin or Gordon with a receiver that's on your bench, try to consolidate into a better player because you have a very deep bench. That's kind of the only advice. Bo Nix is fine for a QB. You want to try to churn for a better one, like maybe a young guy. See someone on waivers, maybe go for it, but you don't need to. Bo Nix is fine.
I like that. That's a good take there. Adrian was saying, yeah, I was Power Neighbors too, but watching game 1, it's going to be the same as last year.
That's really good. He
I
was
guess
like
afraid
wide
of the
receiver
Giants.
6. But,
yeah, afraid of the Giants. You know, led the league in targets, but the Giants issue. But the quarterback should be upgraded for the Giants. It's always Ladd. We agree. Have CeeDee Lamb and Neighbors 8-man league. Oh, I got you. But you're doing good there. I have Justin Herbert though. Might want to keep the QB wide receiver duo. Yeah, that's what we're saying. We're pretty high on Herbert. He's looking like a higher passing volume, a lower rushing touchdown version of Josh Allen.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, Herbert's 5K passer, so he could do it again. He's done it before.
We need to get a better nickname for him. Like no one Herbert has no. There's no one's ever given him a nickname. Like what is Justin Herbert's nickname?
He doesn't have one that I know of, but I'm gonna look it up and see if he has one that no one knows of.
White bread people. I mean, he's just like the most white bread quarterback. Like he's just like, but he's a 5K passer. Like we need to hype up Herbert. Like Herbie 5K. Like what can we call? Like there's nothing like.
These are terrible. The
I
AI
know.
overview doesn't know what it's talking about. It says Beast Herbert and Sunshine are his nicknames. He's also commonly referred to as Herbert Herbie.
From it doesn't really look like Sunshine, but he kind of reminds me of Remember the Titans Sunshine.
Oh, okay. I didn't even get the reference. I mean, I know the movie, but like I didn't connect it to the character.
It's because of the hair. He has the California hair. Like Herbert's not from California, is he? Or no, he is.
Maybe he played at Oregon, but I figured it was like ironic for the Oregon because it's always rainy there. But I guess Oregon's not rainy. Oregon is rainy, but I guess that's Seattle. It's known for that. Whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know. He doesn't have a good nickname. Someone should make one.
God, okay, so what do we know about Justin Herbert?
He's tall. He's dating that one girl, that model. He's athletic. Got rocket arm.
We do know because you mentioned
200 mil.
What
is it? Is it Haley Steinfeld? Is that the one Josh Allen's dating?
Bro, I have no idea.
No, Haley Steinfeld's the one Josh Allen is dating. I don't know. I say it on Twitter all the time because people are like, it's like a joke, but it's like, oh, like fuck Justin Herbert. He's like 6'7", got like supermodel life, makes like 200 million for real. Yeah. I didn't even know what that was till I watched too much PPR, Tyler.
Yeah, it's the only reason I know what it is. Do you think I know anything about what's going on with dating, Instagram models and the memes these days? I literally have 2 kids.
Oh yeah, I think the 6'7" thing's like a middle schooler thing or something.
It's
like,
the college
I didn't know what the hell it was.
It's like a high school, college. It's just all like it's always everything always starts with the college kids and the middle school kids copy it kind of thing.
Damn.
I don't know. I saw.
It doesn't
matter. Okay. I don't know who Justin Herbert's girlfriend is. We got to come up with a nickname for Justin Herbert. I mean, I'm seeing
someone put in Justin Herbert's girlfriend's name. What's her name?
The guy from
Okay, lightning
Supernatural.
bolts.
The guy from
Lightning
Supernatural.
bolts.
The sidekick guy, because the main guy, I can't remember his name, but he lives in Austin. They live in Austin. Long story, but I've met that guy, Jared Padalecki. I've met him a few times. Madison Beer. See, I've heard that name. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I didn't really know who it was either, but I don't know. That's who's dating Justin Herbert. She's a model or some shit. I don't really know what she does, but I don't know. But yeah,
I mean,
I saw hella
model
memes.
is a job. Yeah,
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
influencer.
I don't know what she models. I guess would be the deal.
I would assume influencing like clothes and makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert though, lightning bolts, tall, 5,000 passing yards, Oregon. There's like nothing there to go off of.
Yeah, not really.
Oh, you think he looks like
mean,
Jared Padalecki? That's interesting. No, Jared's super tall too. Yeah, random. I was never a Supernatural fan, but I knew what the show was. But when I was in college, I knew Jared Padalecki. He lived in Austin, and my wife was friends with his wife and him. So like, I'd been in his house. He has a sick house. Fun fact. And then like 2 years later, he got not arrested, but like he got in trouble on 6th Street in Austin because I think he was like public intoxication, and then the cop was like, "You're public intoxication, on 6th Street, you're drunk and whatever," or maybe he got pulled over. I hope not. I don't remember exactly, but he told the officer like, "How much do I need to pay you to make this go away?" Because he's like wasted, and the cop was like, "Now you're going to jail for bribing an officer," and he's like, "Do you know who I am?" And then some person filmed it on their phone, and that was like a thing. So, like, we're like, oh. He's fine.
She does.
Could be cousins side by side. Too many tabs open. Too many tabs open for that. We're never gonna draft this team too.
Who aims? He has the inside info though. He knows about our modeling career and everything. See what I'm saying? People know.
8 is fine. You get like the 2-3 turn. Yeah, round or RB4 James Conner sounds pretty fun for that format. Okay, we'll come back to the whole Justin Herbert discussion at some point. He has to have a college nickname. He's like King of the Ducks or something. Any avenue you go down, like it's not good for nicknames for him.
Yeah, it's really hard to think of anything. I don't know. There's nothing about Justin Herbert that like stands out. I don't know. But I don't know. Like, how many QBs have nicknames? I mean, realistically, like, what's Lamar's nickname? He has to have a nickname.
I should know this. Lamar Jackson is
Action Jackson. Do they call him that? Is that one of them? That's kind of like a lame one, but I've heard announcers say that.
What's his Twitter handle? Is it just Lamar Jackson? I don't think so. I think it's LJ era, but that's fine. I mean, that's
but LJ era is not a nickname. That's not a nickname.
But sometimes, like,
you see
like
LJ era last night against the Bills. Yeah, but Jay Jetta, like you call him Jay Jettas, you don't call him LJ era. Like, hey, you see LJ era last night, he was cooking.
But also, I guess receivers just have that like swag factor where like they go by like a much more like there's more nicknames for some of those guys depending. I mean, Lamar Jackson has like the most swag too, but at the same time, he has nicknames. I just can't think of them. I don't know why I can't think of anyone's nicknames, but
I looked up his nickname. It said Smiley Face. Like, there's no way that's not his nickname.
Smiley Face.
On Reddit, it says 8 Ball, which that's a great one.
That's terrible.
Do you know what Josh Allen's? He has a real one. He actually has a nickname, like a legit one. They call him it on the broad Winter Soldier. Because when that like Captain America movie or whatever is getting big, they started calling him it. Because he was like going crazy at the end of the year. Or like always in December. He goes
Buffalo. It makes sense. Like you connect the dots, it makes sense, but it's also kind of ridiculous. That's kind of I don't know.
Why? He goes off in like December every year too. He just sucks in the playoffs, but those are in January. That's like the
Winter
end of
Soldier. I mean, it's like so far removed from the idea of like anything having to do with football, besides the fact that it's winter. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but he's
I don't.
like
I can't get
carrying.
there,
Like
but
he's
I'm not
the
like a whole. I'm not really in the Marvel universe.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
my
I'm
bad.
not either. I don't think I've seen it since like the second Iron Man or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Since
Iron
I was a kid.
Iron Man's fine, but
The OG Iron Man, that was the shit. All right, Primetime Palooza. How about it?
And with that, we'll end the stream. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, let's rip one. We big brained it. Let's just let it flow, and see what happens here.
These are super quick anyway. So,
Bro, it's our luck. It's like not gonna even fill. Oh no, we're waiting. Oh hell yeah! And then let me
let's see this.
refresh.
So it has the spread and the implied and the like spread, or it has the spread and the game total for each one.
Oh sweet.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if it was like loaded up yet. So we're in the 3 spot. Probably not even worth showing the board, honestly.
So
We'll
what
just
does
kinda
the
see.
ADP look like?
What's that?
I was wondering what the ADP does look like. I was kind of okay. So it's Bijan, Jacobs, Jefferson, Jaden.
Wait, where'd
So
it go?
Four. Oh, maybe you got to close that. The little.
No,
like,
it went
close
away
the
because I
little.
closed it.
Oh.
It's probably because I have both overlays on and it's confused which one to use. There it is.
Can you like deactivate or okay, there you go.
See, the settings won't open up because I think it's because I have to like I have to turn off the extension for the other overlay.
Right.
I don't want to remove it right now, but I think it'll be fine for now. So you think Justin Jefferson, right? Because that's how we had it ranked.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to go Jacobs because his ADP is higher, if we get him, that's fine too. But, I mean, well, I guess one of them should be gone either. Oh, there goes Jaden 101. All right.
That'd be me if I was drafting here without you. I'd have been like, oh, Jaden Daniels, obvious pick.
I'm fine with
I'm not
Jefferson or
Jacobs.
I'm fine with Jefferson or Jacobs. I mean, this is yours, so you make the call.
No,
like,
we're definitely
either is
it
good.
is 30 seconds per pick. That's kind of nice.
Oh yeah, I think all BRs are.
I mean, I think it's week 1 brain to go Josh Jacobs over Jefferson. I think we want Jefferson.
Yeah, I just feel like that matchup against Atlanta is so nice. I feel like they don't have any corners realistically that can cover him. Like,
so let's assume we don't want any more Vikings except for maybe JJ McCarthy, of course, because it seems like that's the obvious stack. Then we should be avoiding Hawkinson, and we need to prioritize one of the other tight ends who it looks like they all go pretty late. Whoops, I was scrolled down. They all go in kind of the middle. So we shouldn't have a problem there.
Hawkinson won't be the last one gone, so I think we just wait on that till like the last round even.
Right.
Unless we see a spot we like. Oh damn, they got Devo higher in the ADP. You'd love to see it. People know Terry's a fraud.
You think we go Debo, right?
I think Debo, unless we want a running back here.
Debo or JCM.
I mean, your call. I think Debo projects better, but I just don't know if we're gonna get a running back that we can start. We probably will. It's a short turn.
We can't go with Mason or Aaron Jones, but if we hope that they're both gone, I just think that they're both going to be there. Oh, Mason goes. Nice.
What running back is left after these two? Oh, Eckler. So we still have an out to Eckler. So we're okay. It's not ideal, but and this guy can't take him. So we got JCM.
Yeah, we got JCM, which is actually ideal because we were in between the two, and it fits best to have Debo and JCM, I think.
Yeah, that actually, I think comboing them. I mean, I guess it's not ideal, but it's probably well, our only other choice is Eckler or Aaron Jones. So I guess JCM's probably our best bet because he's paired with lower capital than Jefferson, right?
And he's the highest efficiency guy in the whole slate, essentially.
Well, and he probably has the highest implied total of any team, right? Or I guess he's
They
tied
do.
with Green Bay. Them and Green Bay are tied, right?
Well, I guess Green Bay has the highest implied total.
Aren't they? Are they not the same?
Well, they were Green Bay minus 3.5 or whatever.
Oh, right, because Green Bay's favored over them. Right,
Do we
right. My
want to
bad.
take? We can't go Ertz. Also, do you want to go Golden here?
I like Golden. Yeah.
What other?
What's left at tight end?
Just Hawkinson or Ertz.
So we're gonna have to take one of them, but we'll just get Golden here, I think. Or
Do you
what
want
were
to go
you gonna say?
Hawkinson
We
then?
could get JJ. Yeah, Hawkinson's fine. Or Golden. Okay.
I
So
think
I think
Ertz is kind of negatively correlated with both JCM and Debo. But if we just take Hawkinson, your thesis earlier was like he doesn't need much to be the best tight end.
check the guy with no QB. Who's his one receiver? The guy to our right. He has Drake London only and Kyle Pitts. So we can probably just push JJ around him and grab our last receiver if we want.
Yeah. Do you want to go? We think Mooney's out. We want to go. We can't go Thielen. We have to go Ray.
Probably Ray, yeah.
We go
I mean,
Ray.
If London's limited and if Mooney's out,
Or Wicks.
Wicks is fine too. Your call. Because we don't have a piece from either side, so
I prefer Ray to
either.
Wicks right now.
I think I do too, especially if Mooney's trending towards out. What does that do? What does the little toggle do?
What toggle?
The little toggle next to their names, like on your team. Like, see next to Debo Samuel. What does that do?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's cool.
I haven't watched the thing yet. What does it do?
It shows the game. It shows the game matchup. See Ray's highlighted. See like Ray's little Atlanta highlights to match up with Jefferson. So you pick who you want to show the correlations with.
That's
so
cool.
Like now it'll show any Washington ones. Yeah, huh? So, but on a main BR, that'd be really cool.
Right. This is just obviously there's only 2 teams or 2 games, so it's not that big of a difference. But so we ended up with a double stack Jefferson and Hawkinson, which I think is the better way to play any kind of combination with Jefferson. Because like you said, we don't need much from Hawkinson. We took JCM Bill as our one running back, stake in the ground. We got Debo and Ray McLeod. So we're really heavily in that. I mean, of our 6 players, only 2 of them come from the Packers.
We don't have a single Packer.
And we don't have
2
any
of them
Packers.
from that game. 2 of them from that game, yeah. And we don't have a single Packer. We don't have the Packers to
Casey Washington's kind of interesting too, but he's like a direct handcuff to London.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Algier's somewhat interesting, just as a guy who could find his way in the end zone.
He got a decent number of touches. He just didn't do much with it. And I guess if he's going up against the Vikings, that's a pretty tough run defense, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking more like if the receivers do like lean the other way, where like maybe London and Mooney are out even, or just London's out. Maybe they lean so run heavy that Algier's getting enough of a workload to make him like viable with the touchdown. But even that needs probably a thin play. It's more like if you were doing 100, maybe do a couple Algier teams or something. But
yeah,
that's kind of. I don't know anyone doing crazy volume on these.
Yeah, that's kind of like the thesis around like rookies and sophomores getting into like. My rookies and sophomore teams are doing like really well, and I've got some JCM in those. I've got some Tesla in those. Like I've got a bunch of Keon Coleman who was going like sometimes late, or I don't think he was ever going undrafted, but he was easy to get if you prioritized him.
Oh yeah, I got bags of Keon Coleman in that. I think my highest is like Trevion at almost like 50 or something. Like, but I maxed that. I maxed rookies and sophomores. That was one of my.
Dude, you got addicted to it. It was your first time doing it. I was like, these are fun. And then I only did 40, and half my teams I did in before the ADP reset, the first day.
I did like 10 or so that day, and then just a couple more later, and then it was getting close to filling, or was gonna fill within a day or 2.
Right?
I did like 100 slows, yeah, because I was like, they'll be done in like 3 or 4 days,
and it was.
They were.
That's like probably the best one to do as slows. So this contest, 14,000, which is actually a lot, and then to even realize, a significant return in my eyes of like a win would be a top 10. So that's still one out of a 1400. So this is actually very difficult to place highly in. And I don't think we drafted a team that has really any unique component to it. So I'm just wondering, like, is this team duped like very like dozens of times?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I feel like in these, unless you get a really big faller, which generally I don't really play like primetime paloozas and shit, because like the winning team is gonna have Josh Jacobs, Bijan, or something like that.
Mm,
And unless they don't hit, but if the top guys hit, the winning team almost always is something like realistically you're not gonna get in these. Because like all it takes is I think is in these it's so easy to cheat for some people because it's so easy to push a guy like 2-3 picks in a 4-man and give someone such a crazy build, but you're not really losing like enough ADP value to probably set off all their stuff. So like you give someone a crazy 2-person combo to start and they probably just build normal from there and then they don't get canceled. And it's like you see the leaderboard on so many of these primetime slates and you're just screwed because you can't get a combo that actually won. Like the main BR I think are good, but these I think with the small rooms and the like limited amount of top elite plays, I think people work it and they get these teams that you can't realistically get
hmm.
um a lot of the time. At least like I don't know, maybe that's just cynical and a bad way to look at, but just like looking at some leaderboards, I never played a lot of volume in these, so like maybe I'm just taking a small sample and like that was a bad example. But I just remember early last year doing a couple and seeing the top teams, and I'm like, that's literally not possible. Like, how would you even get that? So then I just stopped playing them altogether. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, I think my excitement about it was just like it's such a small number of options that you can really think through every possible outcome pretty easily in a 1 day setting to be like, oh, this is the only ways you want to play these things. Here's how you create dead teams. Here's how you create teams that are competitive. Um,
Well,
but then again, I said like probably don't want to double stack, and then we ended up double stacking.
and I personally feel like if you're gonna do like very small slates like this, like these are actually where I think you have a better chance on like a DraftKings type format.
Mm,
Where I think in the main slate, I would much rather play a BR, but in like a smaller slate, I would actually rather play like a showdown in like a single entry like DFS or something
mm-hmm.
than like a primetime palooza. Because in that there's no chance of cheating. Everyone's on equal ground, but I feel like the primetime paloozas can be kind of influenced. I don't know though. Maybe that's something. Maybe I'll do a couple and try to look at the leaderboards. I did do a few, so maybe I'll try to see if maybe that's not the case. Maybe that was last year and now it's better detected and everything.
No, that's interesting theory on that. I had not even considered, but thanks for letting me know
Yeah.
that after we drafted it.
Oh yeah, I mean we could still hit the winner because that's the other thing too. Like you were saying, not really unique. Like there's a lot of times too. I think 'cause they're so small and there's so few viable plays that like kind of the chalk hits and then it's like oh there's like 15 winners or whatever. But
Sure,
you still get a good chunk, so it's like that's nice. It's just
because every player hits the lineup, so it's like you're going to get duped, and also you have to hit the nuts.
right, exactly.
So maybe there's this whole scroll down factor we didn't consider. Ray Ray is somewhat of a scroll down, but he's not deep enough to be that guy. A scroll down that would be that guy would be like something crazy like Jamal Agnew that no one plays, or what I mean, Kadero Hodge would be like the real
Well,
scroll down.
or like I actually think you had a really good shout earlier, the KC Washington. Like,
Yeah.
especially because this will probably be mostly full before we actually find out like whether London's active or not. So like I don't know if you get that and you're getting that like if you pick Casey Washington and then London doesn't play, you might be picking a guy who's like 5% or less drafted because London was still that Q tag, right? So people are maybe going down to Ray Ray, but they're probably not going down to Casey Washington as much.
That's a fun
Um,
thought. I did notice that Thielen went undrafted, in this room where we were like curious, but his ADP obviously is a 5th round pick, and then he just doesn't get drafted, or that's actually a 6th round pick. There's only 24. So like, yeah, I guess 22.6 divided by 24. He's going undrafted probably about 50% of the time.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Yeah.
Algier is similar.
Yeah, and I feel like after Algier, they're just not very viable plays, right? Other than maybe like Casey Washington, if you're saying London's out.
Well, what's
Oh,
interesting is
well.
Ray's ADP is higher than Thielen, which just speaks to the fact that like he is not a scroll down pick.
Oh yeah, definitely not. I think he's the highest like projected player that was left available.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, what is Wick's ADP? Can you click on that team real quick? Is he
Yeah,
a
for
scroll
sure.
down?
Oh wait, I did the thing where you can't see it. This team? Nope.
No. If you just click, I see Wick's right next to us.
I just 4th time's the charm.
Okay, so he's almost fully undrafted.
Yeah.
Right? Or is that 23.8? Is that what that says?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's pretty undrafted,
Okay.
it seems.
Okay, so he's actually probably, and I mean, obviously, we could have went him. He was probably the other main debate, right? So maybe Wick's is a little bit better for leverage than Ray in this.
That's interesting too, though. This team goes with Aaron Jones, Jacobs, Wicks, and we've got as like their unstacked pieces. We've got JCM, Debo, McLeod. If you just showed me JCM, Debo, McLeod versus Aaron Jones, and Wicks. Well, no, who's their other running back? Jacob.
Well, they had Jacobs. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we just have the big advantage that we have Justin Jefferson is how we win that.
Well, and who is their receiver? Their top receiver?
Drake London.
Yeah, I mean, I think even Debo to London that's like our receiver 2 is, well, I mean, they went back to back, right? But our receiver 2 is pretty debatable with their receiver 1, and our receiver 1, crushes like our receiver 2 crushes Dontavian Wicks. So I mean, we're absolutely destroying them at like wide receiver 2. And
I was getting
flex,
hung up on the fact that Aaron Jones is a pretty solid, uncorrelated RB2 to the rest of his team. But we took JCM ahead of him because we can't take Aaron Jones with Justin Jefferson. It wouldn't make any sense.
Right. And Aaron Jones, how much does he beat Ray by? And how much does Debo beat Wicks by? Right.
Sure.
I mean, because that's like going to be the difference in our lineups, probably, right? Like we're also having JCM versus Jacobs, so that's going to be a hit. But like it's going to be Ray versus Jones, and then it's going to be Debo versus Wicks. Is kind of the flex and the wide receiver 2 spot that'll make the difference.
Yeah,
I actually think that Who Ames is probably right.
I think he's pretty right.
I think that there have been some that I've seen posted on Twitter that were clearly like a product of collusion, but I would say those were very few and far between. I've seen maybe like 1 or 2 ever where like the winner was like, no shot you drafted that. Like, but I will say more often it's like you got lucky with like a 2-pick fall here, then a 2-pick fall here, both early, and it gave you this combo that was crazy, but it was like people getting different, making reasonable moves. That's fair. But if you're not doing volume, your odds of getting that weird combo that you needed, right? We're in like a real BR, that's probably not what you need to win. It's probably just hitting the right team stack or whatever to put yourself in the real contention. You don't need like a crazy faller most of the time, right? So
it's insane to think that there is some 3,000 of plus of these draft rooms that are gonna fill for this tournament, and we might be like 4th out of 4 in our pod. Like we're trying to get 1 out of like 14,000 with this lineup. It's like now I'm like, oh yeah, probably shouldn't just draft off ADP. Probably should scroll down. Probably should have gone Casey Washington over McLeod there. But at the same time, like it's, you know,
It it's so hard in the primetime ones though, because a scroll down in these, you're taking such like a lower tier player with no projected role. We're in a real BR, like your scroll down, like week one scroll downs like Debo, barely drafted. Like, or like this week, like scroll down, like Marvin Harrison's almost still a scroll down, and he went for like 80 and a touchdown last week. But in like these prime times, you're so thin, it's hard to get a viable scroll down. I think tight ends usually can be a little bit better, but even then though, four and you have four teams, it's hard unless you have like a Steelers or a Bears on the slate or something, Browns on the slate.
who Hims was thinking the Monday, Thursday.
Oh, that's the one I had a team in, but I did a giant bear stack, so that didn't work out. Um, but yeah, no,
It
in
was
that one,
last Monday and the next Thursday.
yeah, so it's Chicago and Minnesota, and then Green Bay and Washington. If you
That's
want, I could
that's crazy
actually
because it's like not even over yet.
here. Do you want to show my screen for just 1 second?
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, Here, so this is that slate. So like mine, I did a bear stack. So I did like Caleb Swift, but then I have and then Jefferson Rome, but then I have Wicks and Tucker Craft. Like this team wasn't that good, I don't think, but it's the Monday and the Thursday combined. Like right
That's
now,
fun
top
because like
team in
it's
this
still
is
alive, but also you already saw the result from Monday.
yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like my team's probably not dead because the Monday night guys didn't really smash, and them did. But with the 8 from Swift, I'm probably not really in big contention. But kind of interesting slate though, where yeah, the Monday's already done and it's the different week. It's week 1 and 2 combined.
That
It'd
is
be really
interesting.
interesting if someone ever had like a. I guess they don't ever do that. I was gonna say if there was ever a short week, but
They
they
play
would.
two
I don't think
games.
they ever do. Yeah.
That'd be wild. I was just thinking another strategy for a prime time would be like full fade one game, only draft players from the other game. And then you have like a game that was like Texans versus Rams where it's like 14-6. But then you have this other game that's like Ravens versus Bills where it's like you could take any player in that game and like they'd all like be better.
Mhm. Well, and that's kind of like what I did, where like my Green Bay pieces are only Wicks and Kraft. So they were like my last two, but I really built out like Caleb Rome with like Jefferson bring back. Like I built out the whole like Bears Minnesota game. That one just didn't go crazy. But like, yeah, vice versa. You could have built out the whole like Washington or Green Bay and then like not built out Chicago, Minnesota.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to show that one real quick just because
Yeah, that's interesting. I've
interesting like
seen
format.
those. I've seen those, but I've never like internalized the fact that like that's an option because I haven't been playing these. So I see them, but I've never. Oh, it's week 1 to week 2, prime time split up. That's kind of different.
I don't even think I realized what slate it was. I just saw like the prime time and I was like, yeah, I'll play one right now. And then with those it's only four teams. So it's like you just see the players. You're like, yeah, him. Like, I don't know. It's not like the big BR where like, oh, I gotta figure out like 15 teams and who I like or whatever.
Sweet. I did just have to remove the best ball overlay traditional, which it takes 1 second to add it back, and also I'm not going to use it for the rest of the season. I don't think so. Like, might as well take it off. But the BR one's uploaded now and it's here, which is exactly what we
Nice.
were
Yeah.
using.
Yeah, it looks
Um,
pretty clean though. I like
it
that.
looks pretty clean. I'm interested. I'm excited to keep using it. Hartman, are you down for
Mhm.
another draft of a more traditional BR style, or are you about ready to tap out?
I think I'm good for one more if we want to do like a normal BR or something.
Yeah, one more quick one.
Um
That covers our prime time kind of, you know, lean into something. I'm
we,
thinking we either go with the super large field regular BR, or we could go for a dog bowl, which still is actually a huge field and has like the worst ROI of any tournament that exists, but is kind of fun because it's like for the glory. Or is there something totally different that we haven't looked at yet?
So I haven't looked a ton into all those side contests yet. I know there's
Right.
like a three. I know people really like the Deposit Kingdom one. I don't know if that one's out this week yet. That one has a
I
really
didn't
good
see it yet.
structure. I think it might come out on like Friday or Thursday because I think it comes out during one of like Pete's shows or something, like the Badge Bro show or no, because that was today. I don't know, but it comes out later in the week. Um, but yeah, I know some people say some of these like smaller max, like 4 maxes and stuff are good, but I don't really know which one's which. So I just kind of stick to the main BR. I did do one dog bowl, but I I don't know. I'm not that well versed in the slate yet. I'd be fine with I'd be fine with either whatever you want to do, but I think main BR is a little bit easier, probably.
We could
Um
roll with a main BR. I just realized I just deleted the extension that would allow us to do the second quarter effectively.
mhm.
So maybe we just don't do that today, but we do have a few more weeks. And I think drafting the second quarter right now is actually I mean, it's fun and but like if you're gonna do a lot of it, makes sense. Slightly negative EV because of the injuries that could easily pop up in the next 3 weeks. So I feel like jamming
Oh,
this right before it closes is kind of like the way to do it, in my opinion, where I'm not going to do a whole bunch anyways.
oh, no doubt. I mean, I think even if you're gonna do a whole bunch, you should try to save as many as possible until the last second. Like, I don't think you're really gonna get enough ADP movement. Maybe like first day you do some because of ADP movement happens, but after that, I think you shut it down to like the last second, or the last second for you to be able to get in whatever volume you're trying to get. Um, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. But I mean, you can hop in. I'll be back in like 1 minute.
Yeah, perfect. So this Battle Royale week 2 is for the Sunday main slate. It's 48,000 entrants. So it's super large field. And this is definitely like a scroll down type of tournament where we need to get different in some ways. At the same time, there's only 6 people in the draft room and only 6 rounds. So there's only going to be 36 players drafted. A scroll down, kind of like what Hartman was saying, is anyone who's essentially after ADP 40 and would have been ADP 40 during the summer. And there's a limited number of games because it's just the main slate. So it's going to be Rams at Tennessee, Seattle at Pittsburgh. Maybe that's one to target a little bit. Buffalo at New York Jets is definitely one to target. Chicago at Detroit, not sure. Jets at Dallas, probably want Dallas. Cleveland at Baltimore, a target game. San Francisco at New Orleans, maybe a target game. Thinking CMC on that one, obviously. If Purdy's not going to be playing, which we now know, and Kittle's not in there either. New England at Miami could be a get right for New England. Jacksonville at Cincy might be interesting, although we saw Cincy put up some low numbers in week 1. We fade that, and we think that they'll bounce back. Carolina at Arizona Cardinals, probably lean into Cardinals there. Maybe a bring back out of Carolina. Denver at Indy could be a fun matchup, but potentially just like good defenses and lower scoring. Philly at KC could be fun, also could be pretty low scoring. 1-2-1-1-1, 6 players. Let's jump in. Let's see what we can do here. And we've got our overlay set up. Shout out to bestballoverlay.com. You can use code GORAGE to get 25% off your monthly premium subscription. Access to the overlay tools. This is the battle royale version of the overlay too, so it's totally different. We've got it filled. You can see here, 6 by 6. So there's going to be 36 players drafted. We got Who Hames in here in the 2 spot. Shout out to Who Hames. And otherwise, we're in the 3 spot here. Derrick Henry, McCaffrey, Saquon's there, Chase is there, CD.
So
It's hard to go wrong.
I think in this I like to wait on running back a little.
Yeah.
I did a couple of these already. What did I do?
How do you feel
Oh
about
yeah,
the elite QBs?
The elite QBs. So I did 4. 2 of them I want elite QB. I think that they're good, but I think you have some good options later.
Of course.
Um, I mean, yeah, you have a ton of options at QB, so I don't think you gotta force it. I really like the Trey McBride with Kyler. I actually one of my favorite plays this week is James Conner. He's barely on the cusp of drafted, and I think he compares to like top tier guys.
Right.
Um,
Do you want to
I'm
go
fine with
CD here?
I'm fine with King Henry or CD. Um, I'm fine with King Henry or CD. It just depends. We can do scroll down running backs. There's a lot I like, or we could do a scroll down like receiver stack. It just depends which way you kind of want to go with it. I think if we go CD, we aim for Dak as well.
Right. I'm thinking CD at home. Let's start there. And it feels like running back's going to be accessible throughout the draft where we only need one and we could get two. We probably should get two.
I think ideally we get 2, and there's like
Right.
we can get 2 where both are almost undrafted guys because like that's how deep the running backs are this week. But same thing at receiver. Like you can scroll down at receiver and get guys that are like crazy good projected receivers too. I went crazy on some. Like I have one build I did like a Lamar with Flowers, and then I actually got Tillman for the bring back as like a crazy scroll down. But that's a guy who's gonna be like 2% owned or something, like barely owned at all.
Dang, I
Mm,
was thinking that we'd have a chance to get either Josh Allen or Lamar, and that'd be a point to say, do we take one of them over Dak? But you thinking McBride or Neighbors for a game stack, or does that not matter as much to you right now? And maybe just go
I
McBride for the elite, or we could go Chase Brown.
I actually like McBride or BTJ because I think BTJ has a smash spot, but I like McBride against Carolina. I think he separates from the rest of the tight ends. So
Let's do that.
I like him this slate, and I think that does give us the option to the out to Kyler if we want to go that way as well.
Okay.
So just in case we get sniped, like if someone decides, because we're probably gonna push Dak till near the end. So
They
if
get
someone
Pickens.
decides they want to do a Pickens Dak thing on a turn where we can't get them, then at least we have the out to Kyler.
Because you're
Um,
thinking Dak and Kyler should go in our last pick.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
we have to.
they're not both gonna get drafted, even if either of them gets drafted by anyone else, because
At the
someone might
same
not
time,
even
if we're
take
planning to scroll
MHJ.
down at all, it might just make sense to take one of them around early if we're scrolling down anyways.
Yeah, it just depends what the other people have. We'll look at the board because if they don't have QBs and we're pushing them past that, then we'll grab them. If they have QBs, then we'll grab our running back. Because like the 2 guys on our right, 2 out of the 3 pick the elite QBs, so they're already done.
Do you
Um,
go Amon-Ra or JSN here? And then follow-up question,
mm,
Jonathan Taylor. Well, tough defense.
I don't think either. I actually think go to our. I actually like Kyron a lot against Tennessee.
What?
Um, yeah, week to week he's
Never thought I'd hear
good.
you say that.
Um, I like some of the later running backs. I mean, we grab a receiver here. Can we see receiver real quick?
Yeah. It's Amon-Ra, JSN, Marv. We can't do Marv. We could do AJ Brown. No,
Go with your favorite, whoever it is.
I'm
Amon-Ra's
gonna go
good.
Amon-Ra there.
Yeah. See, like there, I actually kind of like going down to maybe like I think Amon-Ra is fine, but I don't mind like even starting my scroll downs in like round 3.
Oh yeah,
Like
we're here now. We're ready to scroll down for sure. But I think with me and Monroe, it's like I just can't get past it. I think he's just like a top 3 tight end or top 3 receiver in any given week, like potential.
That's totally fair. I like grabbing him, and since we're gonna scroll down on both running backs and pick a QB that's not 100% owned, then we should be good.
So we're
Um,
starting. I mean, unless is Hurts a reason to take? Is there a reason to take Hurts unstacked at pick 22 that would override getting Dak or Goff or Kyler later? I'm just gonna hold that idea, but then like look at these running backs, like they're still really good.
yeah, I mean, I don't think so for Hurts because he plays against Kansas City. Um, to me, I think that that's a bad matchup when we have no correlation. I just I don't know. I feel like in Hurts' true ceiling, there needs to be some passing, so you probably want a pass catcher if he's gonna win you like a slate. Maybe not. I mean, he could hit a 30 without it taking any pass catchers for sure, but I like Pollard a lot. Kamara's good, Connor's good, Brees good, James Cook's good. Um, can you scroll down on running back
Yep.
just a little bit? I feel like because there's some like deeper plays. Like you can go Samson, you go like Warren. You can get either Seattle guy, either Denver guy.
Ken Walker,
Like
right game.
yeah, or if you like Charbonnet, he's usually down there too.
We're on the clock. You want to skip Hurts right now and just keep pushing him?
I mean,
I'm thinking it's one of Cook, Brees Hall, or Connor, and I'm kind of leaning Brees. Or do you want to go Cook?
I mean, if you're leaning Brees, that's all you had to say. I'm fine with Brees. That's my
Let's go Brees
guy.
Hall.
That's my guy. Yeah, I mean, I love Brees Hall, and I think even with a little bit more negative game script, like potential, he has the out as a pass catcher. I think James Cook's a great play this week too, but you know, I like Brees Hall a little bit more, and I feel like his touch like floor is probably a little bit more guaranteed. I don't know. It's tough to say though. They're very close.
This next group, would you want to scroll down for our last running back, or do you think like Cook or Kamara is just worth it?
Can you click on the guy's team one to the right of us really quick?
Let's
Like
just
the
zoom over there.
hockey hooligan. Okay, so he has Puka and Tyler Warren. No real QB stacks because he's the only one that can take a QB now. He has two running backs. That guy has two running backs. Only one more running back can be taken. Let's just grab our QB here because we have a lot of running backs left.
Do you want to go Fields? Do you want to go Murray, Prescott, or Goof?
I think Murray or Prescott would be my preference. Your call between the two.
We took CD for a reason. We go Prescott, right?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I like either play quite a bit. Because I think against Carolina, Murray's a good play, and I think Dak in kind of a bounce back game can be a really good play as well. And then RB, the only guy that can take one is this next guy. So who do you like the most for RB, and how much do you want to prioritize it being a scroll down? Because like James Cook is clearly the best projection, but he's 100%
fade James Cook now, unless we just get an insane ADP. Is that even an insane ADP fall that's even worth it? Because at that point we're scrolling down. Otherwise,
are you saying we have to fade him because that way we have like some uniqueness, or is there no? Okay, yeah.
Or do we go? I mean, we can't take Marvin Harrison now. I mean,
we could go third or yeah, switch to receiver quick. Well,
Marvin
let's
Harrison,
go a
Garrett
bit
Wilson.
lower. We want to get an unowned guy, probably, right? Not unowned, but like I like Diggs as a bounce back. I think Ridley's not a bad play.
Yeah,
Olave against SF's not a bad play.
Is there anyone that matches our games that we'd want to get?
We could go like a Rome.
Keon Coleman.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Or like a Rome or something. But
Keon Coleman's gone. Crazy enough.
Damn.
You think Rome matches it? Rome is gone. We have 8
Fair
seconds.
enough.
Do we go Marvin Harrison? No, we have McBride. Do we go Garrett Wilson?
Go Diggs. Or yeah, Garrett Wilson's fine.
No, I went Diggs.
Garrett Wilson, his ADP is like almost 100%. Diggs is almost undrafted. I was just thinking for this because Diggs is 35.8. And you know, against Miami, I mean, they might kind of light up Miami. I mean, maybe I guess even like actually that's a stack I haven't built yet. I want to build is Drake May and Diggs. I think that could be a good stack this week as well. Because I think New England might, you know, run up the score. Not run up the score on Miami, but might be a good chance to put up some points. Maybe for both sides, but I think New England might score pretty well. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, no, that's still fun. Who names? I knew. Yeah, I went to Connor McBride almost every draft. Yo, what's up, Rick? Nice profile picture too. Little Ferris wheel action. Yo, fellas, RJ Harvey is on my waivers. How much fab should I spend? If it's me and I want, you know, a flex with a ton of upside, a flex guy, RB2 guy for the rest of the season, one of the best, behind one of the best run blocking offensive lines, an exciting offense that is spreading the ball around in a very fragmented way, a little bit concerning, but then a good defense to give them positive game scripts for running the ball out in the future. And we've seen the explosiveness already on display in week 1. Me, RJ Harvey, Fab, home league, out of 100%, I would go 41, 42%.
I would be comfortable spending up to all of it.
Yeah, I was being very conservative, but like you just don't.
Yeah.
It depends on like your league mates and stuff. In my home league, no one ever spends like that much at one time. But if this is like if you're just going aggro, I think Hartman hit the nail on the head. Like just whatever you have is not enough.
Well, and it's hard because I think in our home leagues, RJ Harvey ain't on waivers.
True.
But yeah, like who him says 70. That's probably a good bet to almost be guaranteed to get him, especially if he was already on waivers. But I basically what I was saying is, however high you go, whatever number you're gonna be mad if you don't get him and someone bid X amount. If you're gonna be mad if someone bid 70 and got him instead of you, then bid 71. Whatever number that is, bid $1 more than it. If you're gonna be pissed if someone got it for that much and not you, because there's no amount too high where you're being unreasonable. You could spend your whole fab and it's reasonable.
True. Hartman, I want you to run through this whole draft board and not spend too much time, but like give me the thesis of how any one of these teams takes down a tournament with 45,000 people.
I mean, the guy at the one spot, pretty clear case. He did a big, Philly stack. AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts. AJ Brown just had a bad week 1. He's
let me
back.
do this actually, because then you can see the game stacks. Let me do this one so we can see any potential game stacks.
Okay. Okay. Philly, SF, Jacksonville. So he doesn't have any, I don't think.
Nope.
Okay. So yeah, the big Philly stack though, that's a big deal. RBs are crazy strong. They could be RB 1 and 2 on the week. Neighbors could have a great game against Dallas, and then Fannin, he got 9 targets last week. Maybe he gets in the end zone. It doesn't take much to be tight end 1 on the week. Who aims, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase goes for like 150, 2 touchdowns, whatever. Brian Thomas comes right back at him against the shitty defense or, bad Bengals defense. A-Chain, big pass catching role, breaks off a long run. James Conner, best matchup you can probably get. Sam Laporta gets in the end zone. Pretty much any tight end gets in the end zone is the thesis for how they win the week. And, 60 yards or whatever, that might be tight end 1 on the week.
This is just Jacksonville.
Chase Burrow with Jacksonville.
Chase Burrow is what you had to have. That makes sense there.
And I love BTJ this week as like a bounce back candidate. Just too bad T-Law starting. And then for us, Dallas is the thing you needed. CeeDee Lamb has that Jamar Chase game I just said. Dax QB1. Amon-Ra, he comes back. He has 2 touchdowns. Diggs has a great game against the Dolphins, gets in the end zone. Breece Hall has a great game, gets in the end. It's like, I think with all our guys, like, you can see the role and the usage. I think Diggs is the only one you got to tell yourself a little bit of a story of him really improving from week 1. The other guys are kind of just bad touchdown variants week 1. Amon-Ra had a bad game, but he's very consistent in general. And then we have, probably the tight end one for the week by far.
What scares me on this, though, is in my head, Dak and CeeDee Lamb have a great first half. The Giants don't do anything, is what we're saying here, essentially, or just not enough to replace the value of the other guys with any one player like Neighbors or something, or Tyrone Tracy. But then we're saying, okay, the Cowboys are up 24-0 at half, or they're up. It's the beginning of the fourth quarter, and they're up 28 or 30 to like 12 or 14 or 9. Are they still gonna be throwing it to CD, or did he do all of his damage in the first half? And like, we don't like, are they just running the clock out? Where does this end up for them? That CD's still seeing volume throughout the game to get to a huge number that breaks the slate if there's not a Giants piece pushing them to continue to score.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could kind of see that. I guess like the argument would be like, it doesn't take much. Like even the Eagles game, right? I mean, CD went for like 110 on 7 catches and could have went for a lot more if he didn't drop them. And like that game was only 24-20. I mean, like I don't I think CD is just such a big like target share percentage that he doesn't need like 45 pass attempts to put up a wide receiver one overall week, right? He probably only needs like in the 30s or so for pass attempts. If it works out right. Like if that Eagles game worked out right, I mean, he would have been wide receiver one week one, maybe, if he wouldn't have dropped all those passes, right? But like
For sure.
I get what you're saying though. Like when you're doing the Dallas big stack, it probably should be with neighbors because that makes the most logical sense for how that game is the one. But like I guess with scoring, you could always just have it like maybe neighbors does get him there, but maybe Scadaboo has 3 carries this week and one's for a 1 yard touchdown. Darius Slayton catches a bomb, or Russ
Yeah.
does a 1 yard sneak. It's like there's ways like neighbors could go for like 120 and no touchdowns. And he paced that game and he kept the Giants competitive. But in fantasy, he was a good play, but he wasn't a needed play, even if he was the main like engine of the Giants offense. If he's not lucky with touchdown variance, right? Because I think in a BR on half PPR, you always need that touchdown variance to have your lineup be the one that hits that week winning outcome. So
Right.
neighbors could put up 11 for 120 and no touchdowns and be a great play, 18 points, but you might beat that if Diggs gets in the end zone and also gets 7, 8 catches or whatever, or at least tie it with your wide receiver 3. So you didn't need that bring back piece or whatever. But I mean, obviously, yeah, I think the bring back piece with the game stack is nice to have, in general. Just for the story though, I mean, tell a story, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna look at these ones because I'm looking for
All
if
right, yeah,
anyone
go
like
ahead.
really played into like here's Puka in Kyron, but they don't have any
Mhm.
Tennessee pieces. There's a Dunze and Caleb. They don't have any Detroit pieces. So it's not like I'm trying to figure out like what level of correlation do I think we need to hit
Well,
versus what the field is doing versus what we should be doing.
so Hames is the only one that game stacked so far, right?
Right.
Okay.
Here's oh no, because I left on the Hertz toggle. There's nothing here either. But there's just a skinny stack with Flowers
Mm-hmm.
and a good looking team, but a chalky team. Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is gonna be duped. It could easily be duped. This one, JT Barkley, Josh Allen, Higgins Coleman, Kincaid, where I
Yeah, it's
feel like
just a Bills double.
I feel like I would want the Jets piece here. Like I would rather have Brees Hall than Jonathan Taylor on this team.
Yeah, I'd maybe even rather have like Garrett Wilson than T. Maybe not because T has a good matchup, but like I feel like Garrett Wilson would almost fit better than T in the lineup. Like for the story.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe T projects a little better, but um yeah, I do think the one thing though that's different in this than like the game stacking for week 17, for example, as far as a bring back, is that it's so projectable and everyone's role so much that you don't need to necessarily bet on a shootout when you can like precisely target like these matchups. Um because it's not like I need to bet all in on this game. That couldn't be a good strategy, obviously, if one game's a shootout. But I think because you're able to target so specifically, and because the player pool is like all the guys on the board. I mean, look, we're leaving Marvin Harrison, Garrett Wilson, Ricky on the board, Justin Fields, ETN. Like all those guys are staying on the board. I think your talent pool is so deep that you don't need to game stack because you're getting such elite pieces, even if you do a scroll down. And then I think especially like if you do like we did and save your scroll downs for running back, you can get your like very top pieces where you don't even need to correlate them. And then running backs, you kind of don't need to correlate them in general because like a shootout doesn't really help a running back, right? Like high scoring helps everyone, but it's not necessarily the game environment that's most conducive for like a running back to be in a shootout or whatever. Um, so, and I think just spend that earlier capital at receiver, it lets you like have less correlation because you're getting just like super elite, high projected talent, regardless of their matchup or game script or whether it like correlates or whatever.
Yeah, I have to think a lot about it, but I think
I mean, it doesn't really help to look at like past winning teams because football's so volatile, like anything week to week, but like getting some of the structure down from past winning teams more than anything, rather than just like what players was required. But then, looking at larger sample sizes, percentage of time that you need the QB1 that was drafted that actually is the QB you need / the tight end one that was drafted is actual tight end you need, like small things like that. Like, does that win at the expected, percentage, or does it win slightly more? Does it win slightly less? Like, if you told me that if Josh Allen was the number one QB drafted over a 30 game sample size for some reason, or it could be smaller, but whatever, it doesn't even matter. Like, the last 20 games, it was always Josh Allen was the first QB drafted, if not the second one. And then he hit teams with Josh Allen only won once out of that, or like less than expected, like one less game than expected. That would tell me like, oh, you definitely fade elite QB and like you get value elsewhere. Like some like small edges like that you could like maybe take some actionable information on if you're not going to be like max entering these things, and you just need to like make teams that are slightly more likely to hit across a season by sticking to like some like bounds of like, oh, maybe I take Josh Allen, but if I do, like, and I'm only drafting so many teams, I'm lowering my chance. I should be going for weeks when it's not Josh Allen.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I think in general, fading the elite QBs, I think fading the elite QBs when there's like multiple is actually like pretty good, because usually you can get like good replacement options, and obviously you're playing matchups. So like, you're kind of targeting certain games and stuff. But I think when sometimes if like last week when it was only Jaden, and obviously he didn't separate, but when Josh Allen and Lamar are isolated and so is Jalen Hurts away from the main slate, I think then the elite QB becomes significantly more valuable. And last week it didn't work out, right? Because Fields whooped them, Rodgers whooped them, like a bunch of guys did. But I think Jaden has the ability to give you so much edge where when there's like three of them,
right,
you don't really know which one. And if you're trying to get exposure to all the elite QBs, you're spreading it so thin and having to take them on such a high percentage. It's like, it just makes it too tough, and you're not really getting the edge because there's other guys who can viably beat. Like if you have Josh Allen, Lamar's on the slate, your guy might not even be like the QB1 projected, right? Or he's like very comparable to the next guy. But if Jaden's on the slate and none of the other guys are, your QB is the highest projected by like 4 or 5 points over the next guy. So maybe not that, but like 3 points or something, probably at least. Notable where like if it's Allen, Lamar, Jaden Hurts all available, how much edge are you gaining versus just waiting and beating them at running back 2 or receiver or whatever? That's just how I don't play a ton of BRs. That's just my like thinking. Like I'm not like a huge BR guy. I play a little like for fun, but
yeah,
I try to think about, like structure and how to try, when I make a team, try to win with it. But it's pretty low volume.
Totally unrelated to exactly this tournament, but the winning dog bowls from last week. The first one was Bajan, Puka, Hubbard, Tyler Warren, Michael Pittman Jr., Daniel Jones. So a double stacked Indy super scroll down QB with just, one of the top running backs, probably the top running back on the slate, if I had to guess. I think it is. And then one of the top receivers on the slate, similarly, one of the top Chuba, one of the other top running backs, but not necessarily like the second best. And then Tyler Warren, good enough. Pittman Jr., good enough, stacked up with the Danny Dimes, who was one of the highest scoring quarterbacks on the slate, or if not the highest. And then the second place team, because it's Fields.
The scroll down QBs really dominated the main slate. With Fields, Rodgers, and Dimes. Because no Allen, no Lamar, like they really dominated that main slate.
True. The second team in the dog bowl was Bajan, James Conner, Kittle, JSN, Emeka Egbuka, and Justin Fields. So the only overlap on these teams is Bajan in the first round. Otherwise, completely unique teams. And then third place team was. Oh no, I just read the third place team. The second place team was Bajan, Puka, Chuba, Tyler Warren. Oh no, that was the first one I read. That was second and third. The first place team.
Okay.
Wow, this is completely different. Puka, Bowers, Emeka Egbuka, Garrett Wilson, Justin Fields, Bill.
Hmm.
So,
Wait, who was their QB?
I could probably be sharing this on the screen, but like that's
who's the QB for that one? Sorry.
Justin Fields with Garrett Wilson.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So
so they had a
skinny
Fields
stack.
Garrett Wilson stack.
Skinny stacked Garrett Wilson, Justin Fields with no bringbacks. Puka.
None of them had a bring back, right?
None of them did. Puka, Bowers, so elite tight end. Emeka Egbuka, obviously that's like this huge hit that would have been a scroll down, and they took him in the third pick overall. And then Bill was their last pick, and that's kind of like an anchor RB. So that's 3 receivers, elite tight end, and scrolling down for a receiver, scrolling down for the QB. So that's interesting. It looks like elite tight end is a bit stronger in these.
Well, yeah. Could you also could you reread the running backs on the other two teams really quick?
Yeah,
I'm just curious what they had at RB.
I don't think there's anything on my Twitter that.
Oh, it's on Twitter. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think this is all fine. I think we're good.
All right, so
we go big. This is the best team.
Okay, so that makes sense. And so they had Bill Merritt. So where were the other two?
So Bill is not completely replaceable because the slate is a certain number of games, and 14 is kind of like still a top 10 score, but like not too high up. But like, so that's probably the most replaceable score in the whole thing, though.
Yeah, I was just curious if because I know the other ones had Bijan. I was curious if they did 1 running back builds or if they did 2 running back builds.
They did 2, but they also got Puka, where Puka was the first taken in this one, and he was the second in this one.
Oh wow.
Puka 209 versus Puka 108. But this is the whole FUD of like, what are the Rams going to do against the Texans with Stafford looking like he might be broken back Stafford guy?
Right, exactly. And then the third place, what was theirs? So they also did 2 RBs. So but neither one of them scrolled down for the RBs. So they all pretty much picked chalk in the dog bowl. Because this is the 12-man. So this is all, none of those are scroll downs at all.
I would think Egbuka was probably drafted in every draft, you think? No.
I did I know I did 1 dog bowl, and like, I mean, maybe he just got pulled way up, but he went in like the 4th round. And like, he was getting picked in my 6-mans because Godwin was out, so he was getting hype.
You're right.
Yeah, so in dog bowl with that many, because that's almost, what is that, 72 players drafted? In that, Egbuka's like 100%.
No, you're right.
Or close, like 80, whatever.
I was thinking top 60 and he'd be borderline, but it's actually 72.
So did any of these guys really have a scroll down then? Maybe, well, Dimes at QB. And then
Fields would have been a scroll down too.
And then JCM was probably, well, no, JCM might not have been.
No, he for sure was, right? He's like borderline. Like he's like scrolling down like a round or 2.
He's probably on the edge, right?
Well, this would be ADP. This would be pick, so 72 minus 7. That'd be 665, and his ADP was like what, 80 to 90?
Well, yeah, but you got to figure like
there's constraints.
Well, and there's like less receivers that go. You got to think it's more like he's like RB 20-ish or RB 18.
And there's some games that are excluded, like the you couldn't have any Ravens.
Right, exactly. There's 2 or 3 games.
Okay.
3 games.
So no, Bill was definitely getting drafted most of the time.
Right, like he would have been on the edge probably. He would have been like 60-70% or
but Daniel Jones probably was never getting drafted.
probably very low. And I bet Fields even was pretty low. Not
I
as
bet
low as
Pittman Jr.
Dimes,
was very
but
low.
probably. He was probably on the borderline though, because in that, like Pittman would have been coming up, but like he definitely would go undrafted sometimes. And the third place guy just went chalk. He might have auto drafted that.
Huh. Maybe except for
mean-
Fields, or you think he just would have been the
Oh,
sixth?
like, well, if he's at the 6'10 QB, like if everyone else had QBs and he was the last guy, QB 12 last week, he could have been like by ADP.
So this guy consciously went, okay, I could take Baker, but no, I'm just gonna skip him and go Fields, and that's what won
Well,
him.
Baker was probably gone by 6'10 to whoever had Evans, I would imagine. Because by
I mean,
6'10,
He didn't
that's
take
like
Purdy
QB
either.
12. Huh?
He didn't take Purdy. Oh, QB 12. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. QB 10 to 12. Yeah. Okay. So Kittle's probably. I mean, Purdy's probably gone too.
He could have been, yeah. Like that'd be on the edge, but Purdy might be gone. Dog bowl to like Ricky Drafter. Ricky Drafter might have taken him. But yeah, so it's interesting. They didn't really scroll down a lot. Not a lot of unique combos. Just kind of more hit the right guys. Kind of add ADP for most of them. The QBs were the scroll downs though for the top two, or all three, I guess. The QBs. So they got a little unique at QB, and other than that, just went chalk, and that's how they hit. Kind of interesting, you know. Yeah.
So knowing that, are you down for one more quick BR?
I can do one more, but I gotta hop off. Like
Okay, perfect.
after.
I suckered him into one more.
All right.
Yeah, I gotta go too, but these things go quick.
I got.
Okay, so knowing what we know, scroll down, but works best at QB.
I think we should try to find a game stack that we can build that's like low owned. So I would say go to QB real quick. Or okay, yeah, we can do that. That's easier, I guess. So I like we could go
New York. Neighbors, Russell Wilson, and the thesis is just they look terrible in week 1. They're not actually that bad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with it, but
Goff Amon-Ra, or it could be Goff Jameson.
I mean, like, I kind of like, yeah, it's just
No one's drafting Tua. It'd be like a Tua, Tyreek, or Achane ultimate yuck game.
Oh, I actually like May versus them, but
Yeah,
I like. Man, there's not a lot of good ones.
Flacco to Judy.
I mean that'd be fine. Yeah, it'd be.
That's just like deep.
Flacco,
Like how
Flacco
deep can
to
you
Tillman.
go?
Yeah, we could do like Bryce Young and Tet. That might be a little bit too.
Yeah,
far.
was T-Mac even getting drafted?
He's probably not. No, because it's cutting off like Marv Harrison and Garrett Wilson, so he's probably just a tier.
Oh yeah,
below that.
right. You're right. So essentially, we take chalk at running back early. We grab the best tight end that we can as soon as we can, and then whatever receivers we take, we just need to take that quarterback and scroll down. But we want to lean into.
Actually, we could also do like tight end stack with the QB and not do a receiver. And we could do the receiver as like a bring back instead if we like something like that.
But we also want to lean into the rushing upside QBs. So like if we're gonna scroll down at QB, we'd want to go with like May or Daniel Jones again. But it's against Denver, so that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I'd rather actually. Oh, you know what might be a good one? What about like Bo Nix and Sutton against Indy? That's a good bounce back spot. Denver against Indy.
I mean, Nix is like probably not really getting drafted very much.
35.7. And what about Sutton? He's got to be undrafted, right? Almost. There he is. Borderline.
Close. Do you want to go with McCaffrey or Barkley?
I'd probably go CMC with the matchup. I think against New Orleans is a lot better than against KC, right?
I'm fine with it. Yeah, I can't argue one way or
I
the
think
other.
to me, just matchup on that one, I would lean New Orleans, but both are great plays, obviously.
Of the remaining because our next pick's 10 again. Let's try to fade the elite QBs because we're doing the whole scroll down QB idea, and I think that's strong for limited entries.
We could do BTJ and do T-Law. I mean, I like the BTJ spot. I mean, they're playing the Bengals, so I don't think that's bad. I mean, T-Law, you know, he has some rushing. I'm not a huge T-Law guy, but I think, you know, on BTJ stack, it's not bad. It's a good matchup. What do you like
McBride
here?
is there, Puka is there, BTJ is there. I'm open to the BTJ idea, but do we think we can get him with our next pick?
We can try, yeah. I mean, I'm
Or does
fine
it
with
matter? Should we just take him and, you know, whatever happens, happens kind of thing? Like,
if you like the elite tight end, we can go elite tight end. I don't like, I like all three of those guys this week. And I think, you know, McBride's clearly the top tight end, but
no,
I love that BJ matchup. I mean, what better matchup can you ask for like a star receiver than the Bengals? They're gonna score, hopefully, and they're gonna have a bad defense. You know, you can't ask for much more. Well, you could ask for Mac Jones to be the quarterback. That's about all else you could ask for.
Speaking of,
yeah, for real. Yeah, we get Ricky. Oh, we got CMC. Yeah, we can't get Ricky. That's what we should have done. Why didn't you bring that up? We could have done Ricky and Mac. That's the stack. That's probably high owned though. People are doing that. People are hip.
I think Puka's still like super elite. Like you just take him when he's there. I'd almost argue that Neighbors kind of fits the bill for. He's getting 100% drafted, but
what is the goal here? So are we like, is T-Law the variance that we need, and other than that we can just go chalk, or are we trying to get any more variance onto like I mean,
I don't know if T-Law is enough to separate, honestly. I don't know if he can get there.
Oh, okay, so you don't want T-Law.
Okay. Honestly, probably not, but we can't go staff like it's going to be through our tight end or through someone else, because like Stafford's not going to get us there, T-Law's not going to get us there.
I think we go Puka here because he's so much better. Sure. And I think I kind of like, let me know what you think about this. He got some deep targets last week. What about Hunter Henry, Drake May against Miami?
That could be fun. Because Hunter Henry can easily have a touchdown or two and be the best tight end on the week.
Right. And Drake May can easily be the QB1 without carrying any of his receivers enough to spike. Or at least like a top 3 QB and compete with QB1, you know. I think you'd be QB1 with the rushing, but
he had 46 pass attempts. I don't know if I caught that.
Holy shit. That's crazy. I didn't know. I had no idea that many.
That doesn't look right, but it must be.
Gino had like 40. So
that's insane, because if we sort it by pass attempts, he'd be like number 1.
Right, number 1, right?
Yeah. No one had more than that. I don't think. There was
no. Aaron Rodgers had a lot. How many did he have?
30.
30, not even close. I think the next closest is probably Gino against him. But I don't think he's not on the slate, right?
Flacco had 45. I know he was up there. Gino's not in this slate, so we can't check it. But
Gino only had in the high 30s anyway.
Kyren, but now we have 2 Rams, but that's not necessarily like the worst thing. But
yeah, James Cook. I don't love the Kyler Warren. I like Warren.
If we go Warren, we're essentially taking Danny Dimes. Zay Flowers, AJ Brown. 2 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, Kyron's cool.
I got Kyren.
Yeah. It's hard because like
we have Puka.
I think we. Well, yeah. Like I don't. Like, because I think what I would usually do there is probably just scroll down at RB instead of taking like a top dog.
Yeah.
And then, but if we're gonna do the May Hunter Henry thing, that might make us different enough. I just think with Kyren and Puka, it's gonna be like really, really hard to get there. It's I don't know. I mean, maybe not, because like last week you definitely could have got there with both of them. Kyren could have scored you enough as like your RB2 if you had like Bijan with him or something.
We
we can't take receivers anymore, right? We have to be done, don't we? Isn't it just a tight end and a QB? And then we're done.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Can you click a receiver? What happens if you do that? Oh, okay.
Do you want to go Hunter Henry first or May first? What's more core to this?
I mean, I guess Hunter Henry, and then if May goes, we can take like T-Law.
Yeah, because also
Because if we have
there's
May,
no
we
one
have
else
him unstacked.
we're the only non QB, so
Well, the guy at 5 could technically take him, but like if he wants to
oh shit, you're
unstack,
right. No,
but he should take Kyler, I'd imagine, because he has Marvin Harrison. So Kyler's still available. But yeah, if Drake May goes, we just take T-Law and say T-Law has rushing upside, I heard. And I heard he's generational. Oh, maybe he's gonna go
for
Flacco.
He's going
Yeah,
Flacco.
hell yeah, bro. That guy knows ball.
Gibbs, Brown, Harrison, Fannin, Judy, Flacco is kind of interesting, kind of sick.
I kind of like that team at the 2 spot. That's a nasty combo. I don't like Joe Burrow though. The Joe Burrow pick ruined his team. His T's gone too.
Yeah.
Terrible pick. What's he gonna do? Get sicky?
Fant.
It was a great team till then. He could have got like Goff or something if he was gonna take a pocket pass or 2, stacked him with a Monra. Kind of a waste. I mean, Flacco.
He
Hell
did
yeah.
it. Yeah, Flacco. That's balls right there. That's pretty fun.
Goat. Yeah, right. Easy.
Easy.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, I think like, yeah, and I think we just hope that I don't know. I mean, Puka's gonna cook. He always cooks.
Diggs over
Kyron gets in
Kyron
the end
there.
zone.
Diggs over Kyron there.
I think the move, like, okay, like if I was doing this team by myself, I would have picked James Conner there, like almost for sure, or Alvin Kamara. Those are like the 2 that I usually would, because like, see, James Conner and Alvin Kamara didn't even get picked, did they?
No, which is crazy.
No. Yeah, and like James Conner against Carolina or Alvin Kamara against SF, who just put up 17. Like, I'll take those guys for leverage over the 100% Kyron. But I do think mixing in Kyron's fine because like he could have a 2 touchdown game, like no doubt. So like I'm just saying in general, when I'm doing mine, I would rather grab like the Kyron as my RB1 and then still tack on the Connor Kamara rather than like chalking it. But I think the Patriots stack differentiates us enough, especially with Hunter Henry. Like if Henry has like a 2 touchdown game, I mean, we're like way differentiated because he's gonna be like 5% or less drafted probably. So we have an out. It's just not with an elite player where like it could be with like a like a Kamara. You feel more confident in that out, I think, than like a Hunter Henry. But like I feel like Kamara could score like a round 1 RB easier. Maybe Henry can score like a round 1 tight end pretty easy. I guess tight end's not very hard to hit that, but yeah. Kamara can match, and he's not fully drafted too. So like, I think the scroll downs are so viable. It's worth it for the uniqueness, especially on lower like total entries. Like if you're doing volume, you want Kyron exposure. Obviously, he could be the key to the slate. Any of these guys that get drafted 100% could, but I think with minimal entries, you gotta almost dial up the uniqueness a little bit more. So like I'll start like pulling up guys a little bit sooner or something sometimes. But like the Patriot stack, that's pretty different. I don't think people aren't doing that every room by any means. So that alone is a pretty big difference maker. And that's kind of what we saw win in the last week when we looked at them, right? A difference at QB was their main scroll down, and other than that, their core was pretty much chalk, and that's how they won.
No doubt. Yeah. I think it's a fun one. It's a fun one. Just doing something chalky, but then a twist with Drake May, Hunter Henry might just be enough where it's not necessarily duped, but at the same time, like I bet you between 45,000 entries, like there's going to be Drake May, Hunter Henry teams. It just comes down to like, did they also draft McCaffrey? And that's kind of like, because you could argue Kyron and Puka can get you there together. It's a touchdown driven scoring format where Kyron just needs like a 2 touchdown game, and Puka might not even need a touchdown. He could have like 100, 160 yards and be replaceable as your fourth highest scoring non-onesie, but like that's enough. So we're just making a consolidated bet that the Rams put up a ton of volume against the Titans through Puka, and then Kyron's the scoring guy.
Right. Well, and I mean, like, you look at some of those winning teams, like, they're starting RBs with like 16s and stuff, you know. Like, if Kyron gets one touchdown and has a couple catches, that can get him there without really taking away from Puka's ceiling too much. And that's enough to give us a floor to be competitive for the win, right? But then Puka can still like completely eat and go off, but Kyron doesn't need a ton, or one of them doesn't need a ton to give us the floor if the other one just absolutely is the guy you needed, the key to the slate.
It's interesting. It's fun. These are my first NFL battle royales on Underdog. I've done golf, but it's a lot different when you're considering some of these other factors, and the golf lineups are pretty easy because it's just like draft the guys who are going to go low. The hard part is figuring out if that's Friday or Sunday for a given guy, when they're going to get hot. And it's earlier in the week. It's always like Thursday BRs for golf are really interesting because you never know who's going to go low on Thursday. They might not even be in the top 20 by Sunday, but they could have like a really great round. Versus if you're drafting on Sunday, you're maybe just taking the guys who are in the lead, but then scrolling down for one guy that could go from 40th to 12th in the last day, which is kind of like that wild card, but maybe easier to predict because you already know who's trying to play catch up and which players might be better at doing that. But yeah, really fun. Yo, what up, Quinn? Last question of the night for our sit starts. We've got Caleb Williams or Jordan Love. I'll toss it over to Hartman and then we'll get out of here.
Probably Caleb Williams. The Lions pass rush looked pretty pathetic. I think he's going to kind of be able to run all around, not really have the pressure affect him too much. I think Caleb Williams didn't look great, but I think the rushing upside and Detroit's defense looking pretty mediocre makes me lean towards him. But both are good starts, though. I don't really dislike either this week. I'm slightly into Caleb, though.
I like Jordan Love better as a passer. I think for fantasy, you got to go with Caleb and hope that he can keep it going and that maybe he connects on one more or two more of those passes to extend some drives. But you still want him to convert that rushing touchdown. So that was kind of what his fantasy success was hinged on in week 1 was the 60 yards and touchdown. So, but yeah, thanks for joining us tonight. Make sure you like, make sure you're subscribed, and shout out to Hartman. His links below. Hartman, you going live any other days this week? What do you got on the books, the schedule?
Maybe Friday or Saturday, and then I think me and Huhames are gonna do something Sunday morning again. We did last week, so it sounds like it at least.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, thanks for having me on. It was I don't know, it's pretty fun to, it's always fun to look at the slate, and then we talked a little bit about our waivers and stuff, start sits, so just good time.
Just talking ball on a Wednesday, nothing new here. Been doing it all summer. Thanks for joining us. We're kicking it to the outro, and we'll see y'all in another draft real soon. Peace.